Hello, everybody. Welcome in. It's the NBA draft. You know what that means.
Let's go. NBA draft special. Thank you for hanging out with us here on Front Office Show Basketball Bulletin simulcast. We're super happy to have you guys here with us. We're going to welcome 60 new players into the NBA over the next 2 days. 30 tonight with the first round, 30 tomorrow night with the second round. We're excited to be here. We're going to be breaking down all the picks as they happen, as well as any trades that get reported throughout the course of the night. We're super fired up to have you all here with us.
Yep, we're here on the simulcast. Happy to have all of you here. If you haven't done so yet, please make sure you hit the subscribe button. Lots to get into over the next few hours. We're going to see the new class enter the NBA. Could there be some trade activity? Could there be some fallers, some risers, surprises throughout the night? You know the NBA draft, it always delivers. We'll take your questions and comments throughout the night. We're also going to break down each pick as it happens. I guess, Keith, though, let's start right here. Not even the draft picks. By the way, I'm Trevor Lane. He's Keith Smith. You guys know us by this point. But the big question right now, does Jaylen Brown finish the night as a Boston Celtic?
Yeah, Shams had a report just maybe within the last 20 to 30 minutes where he said throughout the course of the day today, the Celtics have been listening to trade offers for Jaylen Brown. There has been other reporting that has also been in positions where it was Boston may have been looking at Jaylen Brown trades before they even got into the Giannis discussions. There's been some talk that that's where that's at. So, yeah, we're going to see what happens with that. Let's put it this way. I will not be surprised at all if we get a Jaylen Brown trade here before the end of the night.
It seems like we've settled in to the top of the draft. The Washington Wizards, they won the draft lottery. The top of the draft going, the number one pick going to AJ Dybantsa. Anything that you could see that would change course from that at this point?
I really don't think so. There's been buzz that maybe we could see Darryn Peterson still be in the mix for the top pick. But over the last few days, as you talk to people around those situations, it has seemed to settle in more and more that it's going to be AJ Dybantsa that goes off the board at that number one pick. With that, we've got a great question in the chat that we should address. We will spoil picks if they come out. So just understand, otherwise it becomes too hard for us to keep up. If we're just going off what's live, I know if you just want the organic experience of watching on ESPN or ABC, come back and watch with us tomorrow. And you can watch what our thoughts were, but we will be spoiling picks as they're shared by various news breakers.
Yeah, exactly. So we will have those, and that's because most people are in the chat are going to be reacting to that stuff anyway. Exactly. I've got my newsbreaker list right up in front of me, ready to go. And it looks like, Keith, but what I'm seeing, it looks like the draft is just about to officially begin here. Adam Silver kicked things off.
Yeah, just so everybody knows, if you see me looking this way, I'm looking at the TV. If I'm looking this way, I'm looking at my second screen. We got all kinds of stuff going on here, getting ready here. We've added a couple new fun features here. This year, we got our scrolling ticker at the bottom. We will be updating that as the picks are made as best we can to keep up with that. So if you're kind of popping in and out, you can kind of check that out there. We also have these that we put together. We'll pull one up right now here since the Wizards are going to be about to be on the clock here. Team needs. So Wizards number one pick, team needs. These were my opinions, so if you want to yell at anybody, yell at me. Don't yell at Trevor. I put these together, but shooting, front court depth, and creation ability, they're all kinds of different things that you're going to see throughout these. As various teams come up and down, and then we can take that down, and then we can show my big board. This is my personal big board, top 20 players that are on my big board with this. Yes, I could have gone out to 30 for the entire first round, but it started to get very, very messy. And the Washington Wizards are officially on the clock.
All right, 5-minute clock. Here we go. The expectation is it's going to be AJ Dybantsa. I can't wait. Keith, the first thing I got to get to, though, is I'm looking at your big board there, and I see one thing that does not fit. There's a few things, but one thing that most big boards would not have You are very high on Darius Acuff.
I love Darius Acuff. He's my favorite player in this draft class. That obviously that does not mean I would pick him number one, but I think he's going to be a stud here in the NBA. I think he's going to be a really good scorer. I am not that worried about his defense like a lot of people are. I don't know that he's going to ever be an all defense level guy, but I think he'll be okay. Now, that said, Caleb Wilson is awesome too. I'm not too worried about Caleb Wilson with that. This is just a matter of personal preference. I like Darius Acuff.
I am a little bit concerned about the defense, but I think he's a gamer. Darius Acuff is. He's a guy that will absolutely go out there, get it done. He's going to compete. And so he can we know Sacramento has probably got eyes on him at 7. Wherever he goes, I think he's going to be a good NBA player. I worry if you do take him that high, or you're not getting a guy who's going to play both sides of the ball necessarily, but still a really talented scorer.
Scoot Henderson.
Keith's love for Scoot Henderson is
still there.
Is only rivaled by Oso Ighodaro.
Oh, that's my guy. Oso, let's go. Yeah, that's my guy. I'm fired up for him. Maybe it could be the Suns starting center, but we'll see where that goes. What
happens with Mark Williams. All right. So right now the Washington Wizards, a few minutes left on the clock. We expect them to take AJ Dybantsa. How would Dybantsa fit in now? Trae Young got a big new deal, sent shockwaves around the NBA, getting that deal. I want to call it a max. It's the max from another team that another team could give him. Not quite the max the Wizards could give him, but nonetheless, a 4-year deal, player option. Look, I mean, the Hawks effectively salary dumped him not all that long ago, and then the Wizards turn around and give him a max deal. That's a big shift in value, certainly from one team to another. So how would AJ Dybantsa fit in with Trae Young, with Anthony Davis, with Alex Sarr, Bilal Coulibaly, all the other young players that we see on this Wizards team?
Yeah, Trevor, let me start with this because this is shameful for me. This guy grew up just 2 towns over from the town I grew up in, back in Massachusetts. He's from Brockton, Massachusetts. I grew up in Bridgewater. It's Dybantsa with no T sound. He corrected everybody on that at media availability yesterday.
Really?
I didn't even know. Yeah, so the T is silenced. So I didn't know. I was going to try to come up with a funny joke for that, but I couldn't come up with one on the fly. How does he fit in? He's going to be great, right? Big wing with this team. You've got now Alex Sarr, Anthony Davis as your bigs. You're going to have Trae Young in the backcourt. Trey Johnson, Bilal Coulibaly. We'll see what the mix is there for the second guard spot. Maybe Keyshawn George slides down and plays some at the guard spot. Maybe Dybantsa. See, and I'm going to keep doing it too. It's just going to be there. We'll get there, AJ. We'll get
it's there. Like, come on. It's like Brett Favre, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. But we'll see, where that goes with him. But I think he's going to fit in. I think probably a starter, if not day one, very quickly for the Wizards. And I think what's good for him is because you have Trae Young, because you have Anthony Davis, he's not going to have to instantly go into here's the ball all the time, kind of like Cooper Flagg, where there are a lot of struggles out of the gate. I think we will see him do quite well.
Yeah, he's got the ability to slide in on the wing there. You've got the support system with Trae Young, with Anthony Davis. Alex Sarr and Anthony Davis as a pairing, I think, is very interesting. That's something that I think can wind up really making things tough, especially defensively around the rim. There's a lot of shot blocking there. So he's insulated a bit from mistakes, the growing pains of a rookie. And so I like that about the fit with Washington. And here we go. The pick is in.
No spoiling yet, so maybe we'll be.
No, there's been some. Michael Scotto got it.
Okay. All right.
There are a few people. It's no surprise here.
Sure.
It's no surprise here. It's going to be, of course, AJ Dybantsa. Yep. And there's Jake Fisher and everybody else throwing in.
No, that's just the delay between live in the building and the
right. Yep. It does take a little bit of time there.
They are delaying this announcement on the broadcast here. They're making all these guys sweat it out a little bit, but we know
we all know what's going to happen. It always, like, for me, when the buzzer sounds, the pick should be announced. Yes. It shouldn't be the buzzer sounds and then it takes a few minutes and then somebody eventually comes. Like, when the buzzer sounds, that's it. Time's up. Time to announce it.
Yeah.
Or you lose the pick and somebody else can run up and
it's it. Like that. Remember that happened that one time in the
NFL
draft. Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna put on my.
There he is. All right, it's official. Dybantsa
off the board
goes number 1 overall. Now, there were a number of big boards that actually had Darryn Peterson number 1. While understanding mock draft wise,
yes,
that was not how they expected. Do you think that AJ will be a better pro when the dust settles than Darryn Peterson than Cam Boozer?
I do. I think he's going to be the best player of that group. That is no slight towards Darryn Peterson or Cam Boozer or even Caleb Wilson or my guy Darius Acuff. Mm-hmm. I think Dybantsa's that good. I think he is going to be just an outstanding pro. I think with his size and skill is going to be absolutely, just lights out in the NBA. I think he is somebody who's going to fit really, really well.
I'm excited to see what the athleticism can bring to this Wizards team. This is a team that's going to look to take a big step forward in the Eastern Conference. I don't have them as certainly in the contender tier or anything like that, but I've got this Wizards team as somebody that if everything goes well for them with the talent they've added to this group, and we'll see what they do the rest of the summer, but maybe they get to where they're a threat for the play-in, they're a threat for the playoffs, perhaps if things really, really all click together, because they've got so many young guys. The trajectory on these guys, they tend to rise up very, very quickly. And especially if you get 1 or 2 of them to take a big step forward, that goes a long way. Trey Johnson, if he steps in and has a big leap forward, if Bilal Coulibaly is able to figure some things out there, right? Bub Carrington, they've got plenty of guys that they can turn to that can just through organic growth improve this team. But then you add Anthony Davis, Trae Young, AJ Dybantsa, like that. There's some real upside potential here with this group. Again, not ready to go contend for anything right now, but this is a team who I think can at least make some noise in the Eastern Conference. Certainly not, Keith. I would not predict that they will finish in the relegation zone in the bottom 3 in the NBA this coming season. I think they're going to be better than that.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think they're going to contend for a spot in the play-in tournament, provided guys are healthy, because there's still more they can do. Even with Dybantsa in the fold, this team is still well below the luxury tax line. They've got lots of flexibility. That's including even with Trae Young going to be on that new big contract at about $49.5 million. So yeah, I think he's going to be a really good addition for them, and I like the way they're building out this roster. I'm excited for Washington. They were actually a fun team to watch at times last year when they played their guys. So it'll be exciting to watch them now grow into being a better team with a couple vets to help them along the way.
Keith, our front office show guest, Michael Scotto, is on one tonight. He's already spoiling the second pick. He's in full Woj mode tonight. I don't know how many phones he's got right now. Utah will select Darryn Peterson. I'll tell you what, I'm a little bit surprised by that. I shouldn't be, because that's what's been projected for weeks now, that it would be Darryn Peterson going number 2 overall. There was a part of me, though, that felt like, you know what? Those Angels, they are going to pull a fast one on everybody, and it's going to be Cam Boozer that they're going to take. That's the way this is going to go. And I think you could justify Cam Boozer. I think is going to be a very good pro, but no, it is going to go chalk. Darryn Peterson is going to go number 2 here to the Utah Jazz.
Yeah, no surprise on this one. Again, Danny Ainge, I know they met with them very late, but Danny Ainge passes down to Austin Ainge's son. They don't need to have these guys work out for them. They're going to trust that their scouting got what it needed to be, as long as they were able to meet with them, check the medicals, which guys can't really hide those from teams anymore the way they used to be able to. They're going to draft these guys and take them off the board. And Peterson, that fills both a need for them as well. There we'll pull this one up here, Jazz. I had their number 1 need is creation ability. It's a lot of Keontae George, and Lauri Markkanen's a good scorer. Jaren Jackson Jr. can do some stuff. Ace Bailey can do some stuff, but they need one more guy with the ball in his hands can create. And I think Darryn Peterson's going to fill that role really, really well.
Now, there were some rumors that he didn't want to go there. The Jazz don't care. The Jazz are going to take you anyway. And he has pushed back against that as well, but that he would prefer to go to Memphis. That's okay. The Jazz are not going to worry about that. Just as we saw, if there was anybody that you were going to try to convince not to take you, the Jazz were like last on that list of teams because they already dealt with it last year. They're like, oh, this again? No, we don't care. We're going to take you anyway.
Yeah.
So Darryn Peterson winds up going there. Just a
Did
little
you say
bit
Honey
of
Jazzer don't care?
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Something. I don't know. We'll see. We'll workshop it.
Really quick, just a little bit, because I know we do get a lot of Lakers fans coming in. According to Ian Begley, which is interesting source here for Lakers stuff, but multiple teams, including the Lakers, have reached out to the Pelicans about Yves Missi, but the Pelicans have resisted those offers to this point. The
Pelicans are like, no, we will trade no one.
Yeah.
We will trade no one. You will have dust and blood.
The Pelicans are exploring their options to move up in the first round of the draft. They'd have to move into the first round. Yeah. Some members of the organization are fans of Nate Ament. Now, the Lakers were rumored to have talked about Yves Missi at the trade deadline as well, and just couldn't come to it. The general consensus around the NBA is that the Pels don't have a super realistic grip on what their players are worth, and that can make it challenging on the trade front to try to get a deal done. But anyway, just wanted to throw that note in there real quick. Darryn Peterson, there he is, officially announced now to the Utah Jazz. A massive front court, assuming the Jazz hang on to Walker Kessler, which does appear to be likely. You're going to have Walker Kessler. You're going to have Jaren Jackson Jr., Lauri Markkanen. You got Ace Bailey as well, Darryn Peterson. I mean, you got George, and George's been fantastic as well. This is going to be, I think, a Utah team that can really make some noise in the West.
Keontae George, extension eligible this summer. Let's see what happens there. Kessler, we're probably getting tons of questions about Walker Kessler, about, is Walker Kessler gettable this offseason? Maybe. We'll see. It doesn't seem like the Jazz really want to let him go, but it does seem like they're pretty far apart on a potential deal. So I think we're just in a place where that could get a little ugly. Let's see, how that goes down. But Jaren Jackson Jr., Lauri Markkanen, and Keontae George, let's just plug Kessler in there in the middle. This is a team that has a lot more talent than a team that's one of the worst teams in the league a year ago. We know that was very self-engineered. So now we're
I was going to say
where they are, they're in a pretty good spot here moving forward.
They were trying to lose games last year, doing what they could to make sure that happened. But this year I do think, look, and this is part of that is the Jazz just in their own development and kind of where they're at with their accumulation of talent. But league-wide, there is no incentive to lose games anymore. So, we talk about the Jazz looking to take a step forward. That was going to be the case regardless. But around the NBA, teams have no reason to drop games with the new anti-tanking policy. Now, we may have seen the unintended consequence of that with the rumors that were reportedly out there for Trae Young. And why he got such a big deal. But nonetheless, the Utah Jazz, they are not going to be looking to drop games come March. They're not going to be resting players. They're going to be trying to win, and they sure have a lot of talent on this team. Not many teams, Keith, are going into this next season saying we're going into a rebuild here and we're looking to sell on talent.
Yeah, absolutely not. I mean, you can't anymore with the new draft reform. You cannot bottom out and just be absolutely terrible from day one. You have to make some effort to try to win games. So I think we're going to see teams change their approach quite a bit to the way they just kind of, how do I put this, kind of go into a season. Often we would see teams sometimes just, we're going to be bad from day one, and it kind of is what it is. But then we'll see them kind of flip it and get it going in a different way. So it's now you have to be good out of the gates. Not necessarily good, but you can't be a 15-win team. You need to be somewhere in the 25-win range, very likely. By
the way, the word just broke that the Grizzlies, and I think it was Jake Fisher that got this one, the Grizzlies are taking Cam Boozer with the number 3. No surprise there. We assumed that was going to be the case. We'll see what happens with John Morant, but I love Cam Boozer for Memphis. I think that's a great pick for them. And perhaps the easiest pick of the draft was the Memphis Grizzlies. You just take whichever one of the three guys, Boozer, Peterson, Dybantsa, is still there, and off you go.
Yeah, and we talked about this several times, but when we were leading into the draft, I had kind of put AJ Dybantsa, Darryn Peterson in a tier of their own, like 1-2, and then Cam Boozer. And for me, it's Acuff and Wilson, but for most, it was Boozer and Wilson were number 2. And that was, a place where I think what we had seen there was, it was just kind of a piece there with that. So,
yeah. And I think he's going to be, I think Boozer's play style, his physicality would be a good fit with this Memphis team. I don't know what they're going to do with Ja Morant. Feels like every day we're hearing a team is out on Ja Morant, whether it's the Wolves, the Pelicans, the Kings, whoever. I don't know exactly where that goes, but at some point, whether it's now or in the near future, this team will not have Ja Morant. They have pivoted away from the Ja Morant, Des Bane, Jaren Jackson build. All those guys will be gone. Ja Morant being the last holdover, but again, I don't expect him to stay on the team for too long. I don't think he gets to the season still on the roster. And they're going to move forward with Cedric Coward, with Zach Edey. Hopefully he can stay healthy. You've got some interesting pieces there. Jalen Wells, Gigi Jackson. Like, there's some really interesting pieces that Cam Boozer is now joining in Memphis. So I think this is going to be, they are in a rebuild. They're in the early phases of it. But Memphis has found some pieces, I think, that are really going to fit what they ultimately want to be as a team. And the other thing I want to mention with them is, let's also not forget their big addition from last season, Ty Jerome, really didn't play much over the course of the year. So that's going to be another guy that, if, knock on wood, he can stay healthy, he can step in. He only played in 15 games this past season, but in those 15 games, he averaged 20 and 6. So their backcourt, even if they lose Ja Morant, may be in pretty good shape. And they may be one of those teams that on any given night can be a lot feistier than I think people will expect.
Yeah, my big number one need for the Grizzlies was just to continue to add talent to this roster. You're obviously starting over a little bit, but I think, whether it is Ja Morant or somebody else, I think we're in a place where, Cam Boozer is going to come in and fit in right away. He probably has the highest floor of anybody near the top of the draft, because everybody is very much in a spot where it is, this guy is going to be good almost no matter what. May not end up being the best player in the class, but there's very little bust potential here because he could do a lot of things. He's just a very smart player. So I think this is a really good pick for the Grizzlies, and I think this puts them in a position now to continue to build and round out that roster around that young group with Cedric Coward and Zach Edey. Like you said, kind of almost regardless of what happens with Ja Morant.
Exactly. So this is a team that I think is going to be able to take some steps forward into the future here in Memphis, and they've got a history of, I just named a bunch of guys. They've got a history of drafting pretty well. I do think a lot of this is going to depend upon the health of Zach Edey. He was so good in the games that he played. He wasn't available much. Ty Jerome wasn't available much. This will be, I think, a team with some upside here in Memphis as they continue to move forward and build out this roster.
It's kind of exciting with Edey and Boozer, who are two guys who want to play inside. Like, we could get some old school, like, mash you in the goal basketball. Right. A little bit, which is kind of fun. I always say it's best when everybody plays a little bit different. And I think in this case, like, we could be in a position where we see some of that, right? Of just, hey, our whole thing now is going to be, we're just going to get you down in the paint and beat you up. And that could be a way to kind of get them moving in a good direction here to open up the career for, like, Boozer, and then to really get Edey on track.
Yeah, this is going to be a new era beginning in Memphis, and an exciting one.
And for everybody sending in super chats, sorry, Trevor, we will get to super chats. We'll probably do them more when we're in like commercials and things are a little more quiet. But we will get to your super chats throughout the course of the night. I promise we are not ignoring you guys.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get like there's a Kings one. We can get to that one before the seventh pick comes up. No trades so far. Nothing, but not a surprise there because we were not expecting any of the top 3 picks to move. In fact, I don't know. We could see 5 through 10, perhaps some movement there, but it most likely is going to be somebody jumping in rather than like 9 moving up to 7 or something like that. Unless there's somebody they've really fallen in love with. A lot of the talk there has been that those picks are seen as relatively similar in terms of value. So teams are not going to be super eager to move up in order to grab a specific guy. All right, well, now we have it. Pick number 4. Staying chalk, according to Jake Fisher, it is going to be Caleb Wilson going to the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah, and again, he was 5th on my personal board. That just reflects my love for Darius Acuff. But I think this is a great pick for the Bulls. I think this was the logical pick for a very long time here. So I think we're definitely in a position here with this. I'll show my big board again real quick. Cyrax asked, why no top 25? To be completely honest, I spent a lot of time today just setting up things here in our recording program to get this show out onto YouTube. And I had a top 30 out, which was going to cover essentially the first round. But it just was all condensed and smushed and didn't look very good. So that's why it's top 20. No hidden agenda in there. It's just it was just
you know why he's asking for it to go to
I
25.
I know. We wanted to know with the Lakers. I know.
All right.
Switch this over.
So now we've got Caleb Wilson is going to land with the Chicago Bulls. The Bulls were part of that big 3-team trade yesterday. They get Nick Claxton in that deal. So you add in to the center spot, but the Bulls now have a long way to go. New head coach in Tiago Splitter. You've got new decision makers there in Chicago as well, with Graham in there. So now Chicago is starting a new era. And of course, Chicago's got to be frustrated. Like, of course, now we really go to rebuild and you change the rules. where we've been for years, much to the dismay of our fans, middle of the pack is now where you want to be. Of course, right. But Chicago taking a step towards their future here.
I will say I like the Nick Claxton acquisition. Talked about this a little bit on our very late night live stream last night. And if people haven't had a chance to watch that or weren't with us live, I like Nick Claxton because he will help both Wilson and Matas Buzelis kind of come along. He's a good kind of guy to have behind them and help them continue to grow. I think the Bulls they've got some interesting guys for sure. And that's now a very like kind of fun front court where some stuff can get done on this. Just one quick note on here, 4 freshmen in a row off the board. Let's see if a 5th comes off next to the LA Clippers.
So if this was you're taking Darius Acuff here to the Clippers.
I actually no. So
okay.
This is where I would have to deviate only because they just invested so much in Darius Garland.
I was going to say
it doesn't make sense. They can't play together. I would go with Keaton Wagler here. Mikel Brown Jr. is also a name to keep in mind once it flips officially over to the Clippers. That's been somebody who's been linked to them quite a bit, as well as we've heard there could be trades. So if it looks like a weird pick potentially, then maybe that means there's something lined up with a trade.
You know, there've been talk too about the Clippers and the Nets trying to essentially scare the Kings into trading up, into giving up something to go up so they can make sure they get Acuff. So that'll be something to keep an eye on here as we get closer to that 5th overall pick in the draft. But that's I don't know if they're going to be successful in that. I do think Acuff wants to get to Sacramento, and we'll see if he's successful in that or not. I agree. I don't think he gets picked by the Clippers. The Nets at 6 could take him. I think that could certainly happen, but we'll see. I think that's our earliest spot, that 5th pick, for some type of trade shenanigans going on, and we'll certainly keep an eye on it. But what are your thoughts on Chicago and the build right now and where they're at in this process?
Yeah, I think pretty good. I think getting Wilson, I think he pairs really well with Buzelis. Like I said, I think Nick Claxton will be a good player for them in the kind of in the moment there to just kind of shepherd them along a little bit as a defensive minded big man who can also finish lobs and the like. A couple people in the chat are saying now's where the draft starts, and that's what people have been saying for a month or so now. With this, so it's definitely this is where we're going to be watching here. So I think what's interesting with the Bulls too, got to get a little more shooting for sure. Going to get let's see what the guard play shakes out to be. Josh Giddey, good player, had a really strong year for the Bulls, almost averaged a triple double. Came along as a shooter quite well also. So definitely in a place where I think it could be a position here where we could see this turn into the Bulls fast forwarding this rebuild a little bit, not in a bad way, but just kind of stepping forward quicker than expected. And I still like Rob Dillingham. I think
I was going to say,
yeah,
we'll see what they can get out of him. They've got Nick Claxton coming in, who that all they had to give up was cap space, and that's it. Some talk going around. Sam Amick apparently saying that the Warriors and Hawks are discussing whether to use their picks to try to trade for Trey Murphy. So both teams looking at potentially making that kind of a trade with the number 11 pick or the number 8 pick in play. I'm sure the Pelicans probably want the number 8 pick and 15 other first round picks in a deal for Trey Murphy. But
so they that'll be something to trade him. Maybe, who knows?
Yeah, that'll be something that'll be interesting to keep an eye on too as we go through here. Do either one of those teams make a move to go try to grab Trey? We know the asking price is super, super high, but we'll see if anybody can get something done there. But no, I like Jalen Smith as well for the Bulls. That's an interesting big that they were able to go out and get. $9.5 million for him. For me, there's been all this talk about, can they move off of Patrick Williams? Can you get him off the roster? Can you move him? I don't think it matters that much with where the Bulls are at in their build. They certainly shouldn't be giving up assets just to move off of Patrick Williams' contract. If they can convince somebody to take him, great, but they need all the future assets they can get. And if that means they've got a little bit less spending power, so be it. They already have a ton of flexibility. So he's a rough contract, but by the time they're getting good, that contract's going to be either done or really close to it. So I don't think there needs to be any urgency to move off of Patrick Williams right now if you're Chicago.
Yeah, without a doubt. You just ride that one out. I changed a couple of settings on my mic. Let me know if it sounds a little better. A couple of people were saying it was kind of echoey. So that's also because I get very excited and then I start talking very loud as well. Let's just, sorry guys. It's you guys know by now this is my favorite thing in the world. So this is one of my favorite things.
Keep me behind the scenes. I jumped in to our virtual studio like hours ago just to run through some things with Keith. And then about an hour before the show, I went in to actually schedule the show, and he's still in there.
Yeah, I've been working the whole day.
I jump in, I'm like, you're still just hanging out here. What are you doing, man?
I'm also on roughly 4.5 hours of sleep. So it's where people were asking for the Chewbacca noise. Like we'll get there. We'll get there at some point. Actually, hold on. I figured out actually what's wrong with my mic.
Was it on the wrong mic?
How's that sound?
Oh, that's better.
There we go.
There we go.
That better? Look, Chad, let me know. Trevor says it's better, but he hears it a little bit different than you get.
Yeah, I do hear through headphones. It sounds like the Clippers are going to be taking Keaton Wagler.
Okay.
No trade, a lot of interest, but the Clippers are taking Keaton Wagler, number 5. Michael Scotto was first on this one. Just barely. By 13 seconds, he beat Jake Fisher.
It's a battle. They're probably like sitting right next to each other, too. I told this story. I'll tell it very quickly, and then we'll get into the Wagler pick. I went to the draft several years ago, and I sat like a row behind and diagonally from Woj, and this was when Woj was like 2-3 picks ahead, and he was just spoiling stuff, just a machine. Had 3 different phones working. Like one was charging, one was just crazy with that. So,
Yeah. I miss the days of Woj and Shams battling each other.
Yeah, nothing from Shams at all. So my
Well, it's
guess
because he
is,
works for ESPN
yeah,
now, and
exactly. They're
ESPN's
trying
probably
to
like,
keep
dude,
yeah, exactly.
don't bite the hand that feeds you, man. Come on. There it is, official. Keaton Wagler, the number 5 pick.
All right, so Keaton Wagler, bigger guard. He's a legit, much bigger guard to fit alongside Darius Garland. He can play on and off ball. Played with a lot of really talented guys at Illinois. This kid's a cool story because he kind of was like one of those just not an afterthought prospect, but nobody thought this guy going into Illinois was going to be a first round pick. I don't think. Never mind the 5th pick overall in the draft. So really good pickup for the Clippers here. This is the one that probably makes the most sense for the Clippers, just positionally to get Wagler in there alongside Darius Garland in the backcourt. And now, if you're the Clippers, if you pivot away from Kawhi Leonard and some of the older guys, you can definitely move into a place where him and Darius Garland can kind of be your younger backcourt. Where Garland, though, not super young anymore. He's 27. He's not 22 anymore.
Now, there is a rumor that came out today that the Clippers could be picking up DeMar DeRozan, who it sounds like he's going to be waived and stretched by the Sacramento Kings. They're going to stretch the guaranteed portion of his salary, which is about $10 million over the next 3 years, and that the Clippers are a favorite. The LA guy, DeMar DeRozan, going to join the Clippers. Does that give you any indication of what they plan to do with Kawhi Leonard? Like, if DeRozan is coming into town, should that suggest that they should hang on to Kawhi Leonard and say, okay, we're getting some pieces. We've got some young players, but we feel like we can go make a run at this thing rather than, bring in DeMar DeRozan, but, oh, sorry, see you later, Kawhi Leonard, and we're going to take a bit of a step back here.
Yeah, I don't think it changes anything. I think for the Clippers, DeRozan can either, if something happens with Kawhi, he can be kind of your Kawhi replacement. If they are going into a completely different or keeping Kawhi and they're going to continue to go, DeRozan could fit in alongside Kawhi and just play together with him. He kind of replaced maybe like the minutes they'd given to Nick Batum over the last few years, or guys like that. So I mean, certainly could be in a position where, yeah, I think he could play with Kawhi or be the backup plan, I guess, if something happens with Kawhi.
And we are now, I mean, here it is. We're at the draft, and we still don't know what the hell's going on with the aspiration scandal and all of that with the Clippers. No word on that. No word on if guilt was found or if there's any kind of punishment or anything like that could be coming. So unfortunately, we go into the offseason with no indication one way or another. That could make it difficult for teams trying to negotiate trades and things if any future Clipper picks are involved, because we don't know what the status of some of those could potentially be. If even if guilt is established, no one knows what the punishment could be. So that uncertainty can create some complications.
Yeah, and I think the challenge is too, you don't want to trade for Kawhi and then have, all right, we're going to do some stuff around Kawhi, and then they come out and say, all right, cut Kawhi's, we're voiding his contract, and now you're just kind of stuck. There was never any expectation that the Clippers would necessarily lose this pick, because this was not one of their own picks that was kind of put out there a couple months ago when it looked like, all right, this could, before the lottery, when it was like this could land with the Clippers, it was basically 50-50 shot when the season ended. So yeah, we'll see where this kind of goes with this.
All right, now what are the Nets going to do here with the 6th pick? Mikel Brown, maybe an option for them.
Mikel Brown. Sorry, but
go ahead.
This is kind of the same conversation we just had about the Clippers, where they just drafted a bunch of on-ball guys: Nolan Traore, Ben Saraf, Jaeger Joman. Now Joman's big enough he can play like the 3, which is probably his ultimate position in the NBA. So what I think people would really look at here is, well, Mikel Brown Jr.'s got size like Keaton Wagler, where he can play off the ball. a little bit more. Nate Ament has been linked to the Nets as somebody they like in the past. So we'll see. Darius Acuff would give them an immediate guy who could come in, fill it up, score a bunch of points. But now you have Julius Randle. You have Michael Porter Jr. Where's is Acuff just going to be kind of, hey guys, I'm over here. Like I'm open, throw me the ball. We'll see, where that goes. But I mean, they've got a lot of ball handlers. I'm going to guess this is going to be Mikel Brown Jr.
You are correct. It is Mikel Brown Jr., Michael Scotto first on this. We need a tally or something to keep track. Michael Scotto first.
I wasn't already updating 7 other things at the same time.
No, we don't. We don't actually need a tally for this. But the Brooklyn Nets will select Mikel Brown Jr. with the number 6 pick, which means the Sacramento Kings, indeed, Darius Acuff will fall into their laps. It won't take the Kings very long to submit their pick. I think
I would hope not.
In this case, but Mikel Brown going to the Nets, and the Nets get to continue their build here. They added Julius Randle, took on a little bit of money to do so, but they add him into the mix. You've got Michael Porter Jr. Now you bring in Mikel Brown. They'll still have some flexibility, some spending power in free agency this summer as well. Maybe they take on some salaries. We'll see what else happens here for the Brooklyn Nets. But obviously they are still in the process of building out this roster. Rough year last year. I think they were hoping to move up higher in the draft, but this is still a pretty good pick for them here at number 6. There's just so much depth in this draft. If you tell me that Mikel Brown winds up having a better career than say Caleb Wilson, I'd be surprised, but not that surprised, right? Like these guys are all pretty close in terms of their overall talent. So could end up being a really good pick here for the Brooklyn Nets as they continue to fully build out this team.
Yeah, and for the Nets, again, this is like that common shared need for a lot of these teams at the top of the draft is just you need talent. You just need to get more talent in the building. That's what you're trying to do. And this is a guy who can really play. Shout out to an Orlando kid. He's from the Orlando area. So shout out to him for making it to the league here with the Nets. So I think I like this pick. I would have gone Acuff here. I think I would not have worried so much about the other guards, but again, Brown, bigger guard, can play with those other guys, and should be a solid pick for the Nets.
All right, and then we look at Sacramento. Again, I would be shocked if it were anybody but Acuff. Just all of the smoke has been that the Kings want, that he wants to be a Sacramento King, that they want him. I would be shocked if they take anybody else. But
so he wants to be a Sacramento King, much like our guy Tyrese Halliburton back in the day wanted to be a Sacramento King. So he'll go there, he'll break out, he'll become a fan favorite, and then they'll trade him to the Indiana Pacers for
oh my gosh,
big man at some point, right?
That's
how that works, right?
You get all these guys that go to Sacramento and say, I want to be the guy to turn things around for the Kings, and then they wind up eventually getting good, but leaving when they do it. Acuff, I think.
Look, I'm going to be positive. My favorite player in the draft. Let's go Kings. Get Darius Acuff. Let him be the guy to get things turned around for more than a 1 or 2 year blip. I'm going to be positive. I'm going to be excited about this one.
Yeah, I think it's a good pick for them. I'm excited about it. And that did not take long. That did not take long indeed. The Kings had that on auto pick. Here he is. Sacramento Kings will select Darius Acuff with the number 7 pick in the draft. He can certainly score the basketball. In terms of fit, you have some concerns long term about a guard who doesn't defend particularly well, a big who doesn't defend particularly well in Sabonis. DeAndre Hunter is not the best wing defender either, despite having good size on the wing. Zach LaVine still there. But for the Kings right now, it's about getting talent and not so much worrying about fit. Fit, they will figure out later. Right now, it doesn't really fit together in terms of all the pieces, but that's okay. They're not at that point of this build yet.
Yeah, exactly. You can't worry about what it's going to look like with him and LaVine or him and Sabonis. maybe him and Keegan Murray, you want to make sure,
Sure.
and they should fit in just fine together. Because we don't know if a week from now, Sabonis or Levine will still be on this team. To go back to, I know you'd mentioned the reporting about DeMar DeRozan maybe being waived and stretched, and I saw a couple questions slide through the chat about why would they do that. The Sacramento Kings, this is, like, and I promise you guys, I've run through the numbers a million times. They are $1.1 million over the first apron. Over the first apron.
That feels like it shouldn't be possible.
Yeah, like they are awful. You cannot be anywhere near the luxury tax. Never mind the aprons if you're that bad. So that's why they're going to, if they can't find a trade for DeRozan, and here's my thing. That may be their plan is to waive and stretch him, but my guess is if someone comes along with like, hey, well, actually, we could use them in a trade, then they'll probably do that instead. But if they get him off the books fully, that's a major savings for them, and that would be enough to then get them under the first apron.
And I apologize, I should have put this super chat in. Best option for the Kings. Well, as soon as he was there, you knew they were going with Acuff. What could this mean for Russell Westbrook's future with the team? Do you bring him back for another year and say,
I wouldn't
help the kid out here? Or and if you said you wouldn't, what does that mean for Russell Westbrook's future in the NBA?
Yeah, I mean, we're in full mercenary mode now with Russ, right? It's going to be where should I go, right? Like who wants me? And that was, he talked about that, was whereas he went to the Kings was they wanted him. So that does become a thing, right? Where it is, hey, if he wants to be somewhere where he wants to be wanted, then I think we're running out of those places in the NBA at this point.
Okay, let's I saw there was a graphic going around of advocating for Russ to now sign with the Miami Heat on a minimum contract there, now that they got Giannis Antetokounmpo, and I don't see that, but it'll be interesting to see what ultimately happens with Russell Westbrook, and if his NBA career continues. Is there a team that he's just a difficult fit in places? And I thought he was fine for Sacramento last year, but it was a Sacramento team that wasn't trying to win games. Now they've got plenty of incentive to feed minutes to their young guard that they just spent this pick on at 7th overall. This is, I think, a good selection for them. It'd be interesting to see what that means for the veteran in Russell Westbrook. Moving ahead to the 8th pick. What happens here now? Is this what would tell you, aside from us getting an announcement there is a trade, is there a selection here for the Hawks that you would say, oh, they're picking this for someone else?
Yeah, I'm going to just go back to my big board here. The Hawks, there's not something that would immediately jump out unless it was maybe Nate Ament, because they have enough forwards. I mean, they have Jalen Johnson, Jonathan Kuminga, Zachary Risachet, Corey Kispert, Aaron Wiggins, all kind of forward wing type guys, all positional overlap. There's been talk of guards for them. There's been talk of bigs. This is kind of the high end range for Aday Mara, potentially out of Michigan. There's been talk of for them going to maybe, they could go with Kingston Flemings if he was still on the board. There was talk of Mikel Brown Jr. if he was still on the board. So let's see. I think if it's Nate Ament, I don't know that that's going to be the pick for Atlanta, but I think there is a chance here that this could be, picking for somebody else, and we find that out a little bit later down the line.
And remember, Atlanta already has come to terms with CJ McCollum, so he will be back in the fold for them. This is a team definitely on the rise. I know the playoffs didn't go exactly the way they wanted to, but this is a team that's on the rise. They found an identity. You've got Jalen Johnson. You've got the best signing of the summer, frankly, in terms of value, Nickeil Alexander-Walker. You got him last season. I'm interested to see what happens with Zachary Risachet if they wind up moving on from him. I think that's likely going to be a thing where they're going to move on from him. Aaron Wiggins brought into the fold via trade just the other day. Things are looking up for the Hawks. I think it's going to be it. You have to go either guard or big here if you are Atlanta, and either one I think you can make a really good case for.
Yeah, and I agree. I think we both agree CJ McCollum, really good value, good signing for him to go back to Atlanta. But you have to start planning for the future a little bit. That's a good spot for CJ McCollum, but I think we're in a place where it is for another year or 2 years or something like that. So, and then it's Nickeil Alexander-Walker and Dyson Daniels are your other guards and kind of that 3-guard trio. So, yeah, if you could get Kingston Flemings in there and he can become your kind of developmental guard, I think that would make a lot of sense.
Indeed, what they did.
All right.
Michael Scotto, the Atlanta Hawks will select Kingston Flemings with the number 8 pick. So you're in favor of this going with Flemings.
If you're keeping the pick, this one makes sense because he comes in, he's a guy who just he's a player who will take on a lot, who'll learn a lot very, very quickly. And I think that's very important for this Hawks group and great group to learn under, right? Under Daniels for defense, Nickeil Alexander-Walker for a little bit of everything. And CJ McCollum can teach him, the ropes of running an NBA team.
Now we've been talking a little bit about, could the Hawks trade this 8th overall pick? Could this be involved in a deal for Trey Murphy? This would suggest it's probably not, though technically you still could flip a pick in a trade, even once it's selected and announced as being with that team, you could still wind up making a trade later on and do something there. But nonetheless, I think this makes sense for the Hawks. Stick with Kingston Flemings. And up they go. The team that's on the rise, a team where the arrow is pointing up with this group. I do think they're going to be really active on the market looking for another big. Onyeka Okongwu does some things for them for sure, but they want to add to that front line now. And so there'll be a player out there on the market trying to find another center if they can. So and there's a number of teams out there that are looking for bigs right now. So the Hawks will be a team to keep an eye on. And I don't know if you saw the report from Ian Begley earlier today, but sounding more and more like the James Dolan stuff about not wanting to go into the second apron to the extent of perhaps costing the Knicks Mitch Robinson, the champs. Like maybe that's real. Maybe the Hawks are a team that can get involved with something there. Certainly a number of teams, though, after bigs, but the Hawks are going to be looking to try to be opportunistic on the market, trying to add a center to this group now that they got a guard in Flemings.
Yeah, and to be very clear, I hate that for the Knicks.
Me too.
Like, just for the year you pay, you keep it together, and you could be a second apron team for a year, even if your pick gets frozen. Who cares? It's 7 years from now. Like, try to defend your title as best you can with your guys. We'll get to some questions here in a minute because it did just go to a commercial. And then they're going to come back and do the Hawks reaction, which we've already talked about. So good time to catch up. But Dallas up next. Another spot where there's been a lot of trade intrigue with this. And I do apologize. I meant to say this when the Nets pick went in with Mikel Brown Jr. Let's not forget, they have another pick at number 28 now by virtue of that trade, the 3-team trade. So they're going to be back on the board later again tonight at number 28.
All right, so here's a chat question coming in. Jaylen Brown for Gafford, Christie, PJ Washington, and number 9. I don't know. Like,
feels a little light.
Yeah, I think they would be looking for more. Those are all, those are all fine players. But is that enough to give up Jaylen Brown? That's kind of a, I don't even want to say quite 4 quarters for a dollar type situation, but along those lines where you're just not quite getting enough there. If you're Boston.
Yeah, it's just a little light. It's not like, oh my gosh, hang up the phone and never call again. But it just feels a little bit light.
Who's the best combination of shooter or defender the Wizards could play at the 2 alongside Trey, AJ, AD, and Sar out of Trey, Bilal, AJ, and Keyshawn?
Well, you used AJ twice, but it's Keyshawn George because Trey Johnson's a really good offensive player. Bilal Coulibaly's a better defensive player but can't shoot at all. So it's Keyshawn George.
Yep.
Boy, that team would be huge around Trey Young. Like, that's everybody in that lineup then is 6'8" or bigger outside of Trey Young.
And that's maybe what you need around Trey Young.
For sure.
To help insulate him a bit there.
Our buddy Kyle's just checking in. He says, are we doing no spoilers? No, we're spoiling.
Yeah.
They're going to get put in the chat anyway. So, it's just too hard.
Jake Fisher reporting the word was that Atlanta would listen to trade calls all the way until they were on the clock at number 8, but it always seemed like the Hawks were going to nab their point guard of the future to pair with Jalen Johnson. Makes sense.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, Kingston Flemings is a good pick. And I like that he's not going to have to go right away. I do want to shout out just something real quick.
Yeah.
We are 8 for 8 with freshmen coming off the board so far. So all one and dones.
There you go. This question, Mamukelashvili and Jalen Smith, there were a report that those are guys the Lakers could have interest in. Luka shouldn't have signed that extension with LA. It's career suicide. Still got time to change. He should ask out ASAP. I'm not really worried about Luka. It's about building out the best team that they possibly can. Of course, they need to make moves, but I wouldn't fall into, oh, that's all they're doing, or this is their answer or their solution. If the dust settles and that's where we're at, then yes, there's conversations to be had about what the team is doing. But I wouldn't overreact to any of the reports right now. Let's see what happens. Over the last few years, they've been notoriously tight-lipped with things. So I am really curious to see ultimately what this looks like when the dust does settle with LA. There's not an obvious answer for what they're going to do. And they're going to have to figure out a way to get pretty crafty, I think. But until we're at a point where it's July 15th and all they've done is add Mamukelashvili and Jalen Smith or something like that, then okay, go ahead and get upset. But otherwise, give them time to see what work they can get done.
Yep. Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, Mamu, I would think, would be a nice backup big man to have in your rotation. Sure. If you're going in and he's your starter. Yeah, that's no good. I was gonna throw the chat's moving a little fast. Let me see if I can find it. All these dudes being born in 2007
right.
is making me feel old, and I'm only 26. Hey, we feel like, come on. And then I'm not gonna pull this question up now. Still Rocks 33 asked a really good question about like how did we get here, meaning you and I. We're not going to answer that right now. We're just too much in the middle of the draft. A little bit later in the night, we'll come back to it. If you can hang around, and we'll answer it then. If you can't, come back and watch later if you can't stay.
All right, the Dallas Mavericks now on the clock here. Backcourt depth, shooting, and wings. You've got the Mavs needing here. Who is going to join Cooper Flagg? This is one of the more interesting picks of the draft. We've heard a lot of trade interest in this pick. We've heard a number of different names associated with the Mavs here, and they can go a lot of different directions with the flexibility that Cooper Flagg affords them. Who do you see them taking?
Yeah, I'm going to pull down the little needs real quick. Braden Burries, I think, is probably going to be the pick here. I think that's just another potential. No. Okay.
Oh, we got a big surprise.
All right. Who was it?
It is Morez Johnson.
Oh, okay. Well, new Mavs head coach, Dusty May, Michigan guy, Morez Johnson Jr., Michigan guy. So there it is. That's our first like kind of shocker of the draft.
There had been talk about him moving up as we were getting closer and closer to the draft. What's up?
Shams finally checked in and said, have a feeling new Dallas Mavericks coach Dusty May will be bringing Wolverine up next.
I imagine Shams is sitting there on the sidelines right now, just fuming that Jake and Scotto and all these guys are getting to put stuff out there, and he's got to be losing his mind. So I have to say something here.
This is a surprise, but this is not like a oh my god reach. This is not a Yang Han Sen out of nowhere. Last year, a little later in the lottery, but Morez Johnson, super athletic big man, 4'5". I think he's eventually going to shoot at a pretty good clip as well. Interesting player to put alongside Cooper Flagg. This tells me Dallas probably sees Cooper Flagg a little bit more as a 3 than a 4, and I think that's okay.
What does this tell you about, though, Daniel Gafford, Derek Lively? I mean, you're adding another big here into this mix. There have been a lot of talk about the Mavs potentially moving on from one of their guys, maybe more. Could this be a precursor to a deal?
Yeah, this tells me I hope those guys are renting and not. I hope they don't own, because they may not be long for Dallas.
A report coming out of the Bay, the Warriors would consider moving Draymond Green in the right deal. Not a surprise. Yeah. That was
here's the thing though. He's going to pick up the option to be able to do that. So Draymond Green
true.
could very quickly be like, the right deal for you is not the right deal for me, so I am going to opt out. I don't think he would, but
they were reportedly looking at putting him into a deal had they gotten into the mix on Giannis. That was back at the trade deadline.
Yeah.
But that didn't wind up ultimately didn't wind up happening.
Hey,
all right. So the Mavs go big. What's that?
Where it's fun when it goes a little off the board, right? Like
the draft is no longer chalk.
Yeah.
And Morez Johnson winds up going number 9 to the Dallas Mavericks. And there's a number of teams right now that are cursing that we're hoping to get him a little bit later on in the draft.
Yeah. He was one of the highest like risers in the draft process. He was somebody who was thought of initially when the draft process thought of as kind of maybe a middle of the second round pick. Then it was like, all right, on the border of the first round. Then it was probably in the low 20s. And here he is off the board at 9. So really cool story for him. And he reunites with his college coach.
Now we go on to the 10th pick. And this is where the Bucks get their first crack at things. They have 10 and 13. Milwaukee now has a chance to start building in a post-Giannis world. Giannis now in South Beach with the Miami Heat after last night's big trade. I don't want to say shocking trade because we've been anticipating this for over a year now. But Giannis now out of Milwaukee. They're looking to draft to add to what is going to be the foundation of this team. What do you do if you're Milwaukee here at 10? What are you looking for in this draft?
Now it's talent, right? You're just like, you're going with whoever your best player available is on your board. This could be Nate Ament. This could be Braden Burries. They could probably not one of the older players like Yaxel Lendeborg or Bennett Sturts. That probably doesn't make as much sense for the Bucks here. So they had been linked to Nate Ament. Jimmy Haslam, Bucks co-owner, huge donor to the University of Tennessee. Let's just say probably a big chunk of his donations probably paid Nate Ament's NIL. So it's would not be a surprise if that's the pick here.
Well, that'll be interesting to see what happens here. Remember, they do get another pick at 13.
Yep.
So that gives them the opportunity to make another selection in just a few picks and really try to build out this team now in a post-Giannis world. I am expecting the Bucks to be very active on the trade front with guys like Miles Turner, with Kyle Kuzma, Bobby Portis, already on the way out in the Giannis trade. So I think the Giannis trade is just the beginning. We've got more stuff coming here for Milwaukee. It's going to be messy for a little bit as they try to rebuild a foundation now in the post-Giannis world. So we'll see if they wind up taking somebody like Yaxel. I think I agree with you that they'll probably aim for more upside because now they can afford to be patient for a Bucks team that has been all win right now because they have Giannis. They can take their foot off the gas pedal a little bit now and focus on the future.
Ellen Light, for a regular watcher, says it would be nice if you guys could put a graphic on the board showing everyone who's picked. It's on the ticker on the bottom.
Yep.
Scrolling through. You gotta wait, but it throws you back to old school Sports Center. Like when we were kids. You missed your score, you had to wait 20 minutes for it to come back around again. And as my dad said,
if you looked away and you missed it, oh man.
Brutal. Especially when it was time to like go to school in the morning. Like it was like just the worst.
All right.
The Bucks. I said talent, size, creation, ability.
I like how often talent is never like we just need talent.
Yeah, I mean
they need good basketball players.
Team, yeah, you just need guys who can play. So we're about out of the range where I put that as one of the needs.
Right.
This was about one of the last teams. So.
All right. So we'll wait on that Bucks pick. They are on the clock right now. While we're waiting on that one, let's go here. Do you think the Wizards GM had it written on a sticky note, Dybantsa, no matter what? Did you watch draft day today, Keith?
I watched draft day and then I watched Hustle today.
How did you have time?
I did. I watched. They were on in the background. Okay. Momentarily, I would pause and spend more time watching them than I probably should have.
If I trade you, I trade you. If I don't, I don't. Oh, that's it. That is one of the better, like, bad movies that's out there.
It's not even a bad movie. It's fantastic.
It's just bad. If you know anything about like trades in the NFL or even in sports in general, you know the absurdity of the trades that took place.
Guys, it's not, you're not waiting for the 50th pick. It's only 30 picks on the ticker. Come on now.
Yeah, remember, it's a 2-night draft. Tonight is the first round. Tomorrow night is the second round. Yes. And that's the other thing. And we'll talk about this more when we get a little later on in the night. But teams will have a chance to catch their breath, regroup. You may see some trades. Some teams, somebody falls and is there at 31. That 31st pick can become a very valuable pick that teams are going to try to be presenting offers for this evening. So, here it is. Braden Burries.
Hey.
Braden Burries is going to go number 10, according to Jake Fisher.
Not out of range. Could have gone was somewhere in the most often mentioned somewhere in the 8 to 12 range. So.
He was mocked to Dallas a ton.
Yeah.
But with May now at the helm, I wonder if that swung that. If they had a list of guys that they were considering, Morez Johnson was in there. Burries may have been the guy, and then with the new coach coming in, it's hey, let's get the coach's guy here.
Yeah. I mean, it might have been. I think with Braden Burries too. If you're the Bucks, this is just a guy who's going to fit kind of. If let's say you're trying to be a little more competitive going into next season, and you keep some of the guys you had traded for, like Tyler Hero and some of the others, Braden Burries comes in. He's probably one of the more ready to go guys out of the gate. If you are trying to be if you're looking at being more of a rebuilding team and around youth, then he gets probably a bigger role and plays more that way. Morez Johnson, too, is that broke our string of freshman picks.
Right. They can regroup and relax.
Yeah.
Everybody will think you're a seasoned pro and wonder what you're up to next year. What is it, Jeff Carson in Jacksonville?
Yeah, that infant, Jeff.
That infant.
Oh. Then the other guy calls him, what's he call him? Calls him John Carson.
Something like that, yeah.
His name is Jeff. The guy who plays the Seahawks GM does such a good job.
I don't know his name, but he's been in a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
He does well. There it is. Officially, it's on TV now. Braden Burries going number 10.
Okay, Jake Fisher is reporting the Warriors are fielding offers for the number 11 pick.
Ooh.
All right, let's go.
Now,
we haven't had a trade yet.
We've got 5 minutes until that pick is due. How many offers are coming in for that one right now?
What do we got? No.
Or is this like the last effort? Get your best offers in right now, real quick.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. Pull this out of the chat real quick. Oops, not there. Here we go. Mara is dropping like crazy. He's not really dropping like crazy. He's more now in the range where he should have been. The reason that he was mentioned as high as the Hawks was Atlanta needed size. What was the thought? Atlanta was going to come out with either a big or they were going to come out with a guard, and they chose the guard.
And Golden State could use that. Like he could wind up being the pick here at number 11.
Yeah, could be.
That could certainly happen too. So
passing ability certainly fits for sure. And I don't believe that he's going to shoot threes, but there are people who believe he will eventually shoot 3-pointers. So I'm with that. Hey, let's pause real quick to just say there's like 4,500 people watching. Can you guys please hit the like button, whether you're on Front Office Show or the Basketball Bulletin? Hit the like button. That helps more people find the show and helps more people get to us. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe, because we are going to be doing a lot of shows. And if you're already subscribed and you turn your notifications on, you would have known at 2 in the morning yesterday when we were, I guess it was 1 in the morning.
Yeah, when Giannis got traded and all that went down. That's right. It's really important this time of year that you turn on notifications because we try to be on top of everything as it happens. There's all kinds of stuff going on around the NBA right now. It's why the NBA offseason just destroys all others. So have those notifications turned on for us. All right, so now the Warriors at 11 on the clock. Young talent, front court depth, ball handling. Now, the Warriors do make some sense as a team to move their pick because while they could use young talent, you also have Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Jimmy Butler. Hopefully he can recover and be around sometime around midseason next year. you've got guys that are ready and we need to win right now. And so that's why potentially trading this pick could make sense for Golden State if the right offer is out there for them.
Yeah, without a doubt. And that's also why if they keep it, a guy like Yaxel Lendeborg could be the pick because he is someone who is more ready to play right now. And that could make a lot more sense for the Warriors compared to other teams.
Now, he was known for not having the best workouts.
Yeah,
that was the buzz around him. Yep. How much do you think that actually is going to impact teams compared to what they, when they actually get him there in person compared to what they had seen previously?
It's very tough because some guys just don't work out well. Like Draymond Green, there's that famous story. Part of the reason the Warriors picked him was his first workout with them was so bad that he insisted on a second one, where he's like, I have to do better. And they loved like the mindset. So feels like we're flying through this.
It does. It does. Warriors are on the clock here. I keep expecting to see some type of a trade going through or something with Golden State, but it could be they just wind up keeping the pick.
It's important to know too, often what happens is the team who owns the pick right now will make the pick.
Right.
Then the trade will get reported after of like Warriors pick Nate Ament. Nate Ament is being traded to whoever in a deal or something like that.
Got to add plantable trees for the Clippers' needs. Oh, man. I want to know how many GMs had pancakes this morning.
I should have had pancakes this morning. And it's just, I forget every year, and I should have ate some pancakes.
I am not a breakfast eater. I'm usually not awake in time for breakfast. That's part of the problem there.
Breakfast is my favorite without a doubt.
I enjoy breakfast food. I'm just usually not around for breakfast. So, or at least I'm up. At least it's late enough where I'm like, I'll just wait for lunch. You know what I mean?
You were a Parks and Rec guy, right?
Yeah.
I want eggs. All of your eggs.
Give me all the bacon and eggs that you have.
Some eggs. I want all of them.
I'm worried that you're hearing a lot of eggs. I want all the bacon and eggs that you have. And they love breakfast. Breakfast food is great.
Yeah.
But you know what? So we're staying up late. So.
Nothing yet.
I'm surprised, Keith. I'm expecting like any moment now something to come through. Pelinka disaster class commences. We'll see. They got the 25th pick. Keith, after they make this pick,
negative. They haven't even done anything yet.
Everyone is ultra negative about everything. Oh, you should see. It is madness right now. If I dare say anything positive about LeBron James, people lose their mind. If I dare say anything positive about Luka Doncic, people lose their mind. If I dare say anything positive about Austin Reeves, people really lose their minds because everybody's got these competing fan bases and they all want to take shots at each other. There's a lot of negativity going around. But you know what? We just got to get through that.
Yeah.
Get through it, and we'll see ultimately what happens. Hopefully good things.
So, g'day, lads, from Brisbane, Australia. And I think I said that right. Brisbane, isn't that how they say it? They don't say Brisbane. I think it's Brisbane. But
I believe you're correct.
Because he's from Australia, we got to say it right. Hello, governor. You don't get the Australian accent when you're really from Australia. That's only if you're from anywhere else. Hey, we're big in Australia, man.
That's right.
Pay for us to come over and do a live show because we also have Dylan from Sydney.
We're gonna be watching those Socceroos.
Dylan, you get us set up to do a live show from the Opera House, and we will be there.
We will be there. We will make it happen. Let's see here. The Nick Claxton trade was Rob taking out the trash and cleaning out the garage, and that's why he missed on that trade. Let's see what they have planned.
Not at Disneyland anymore.
No, that's already Anthony Irwin already tweeted that out. That Rob is at Disneyland.
We got a lot of people checking in from Australia.
Yeah.
Here we go. Finally, I was waiting for someone. It's going too fast.
Oh, there it is.
But hold on, we got to get this in real quick.
Go ahead.
Greetings from Nagoya, Japan. Good day, mate. In Japan, throw another shrimp on the barbie. All right, here it is.
It is Yaxel Lendeborg to the Golden State Warriors. According to it, by my tweet deck here, I'm going to keep calling it that. It looks like it was Legion Hoops. Now it's Jake Fisher who had it.
Yeah, I think it was Jake.
It may not feed me everything in real time, but there we go.
Sorry, I know I'm just being stupid, but you got Brisbane right. What about my home? It's weird. It's like Melbourne, right? Like it's like Ben, like is how they kind of say it, I think.
We need
Around
a
lot of Australians come and do the sports business classroom in Las Vegas. So very they're awesome. Love having them. So would be very happy to meet with anybody from Australia at any time. Great people.
I don't think this got spoiled. I think this was coming from in the room.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know that anybody had this one ahead of time. Because based on the timing of when it just came up on TV.
Yeah, I don't know. Later, same time as
yeah.
Moscato was a little in front, maybe.
What do you think of this pick?
Yeah, this one makes sense, right? This is the Warriors. Again, if you're going to keep the pick, you need players who can step in right away and contribute. You're trying to build players up for years and years. You're not taking on projects. You need players who are going to come in right away and play for you. And that's where I think Lendeborg fits, and I think we will see him kind of come in there and play right away.
So who are the Thunder going to upset everybody by taking? What are the Thunder going to do here at 12 now?
Probably Aday Mara.
Probably, right?
Yeah, just more size because we don't know what Thomas Sorber is going to be yet. So just get a little more size there.
Yeah, I think that's probably the way they go. I don't know that it's any indication of what could happen with Isaiah Hartenstein, and we'll see. Who knows what the Thunder do? There have been talks about them trying to package together 12 and 17 to move up. Obviously, that didn't happen unless there's something still coming here. But that'll be interesting to see what the Thunder do if they do take Mara, and then Isaiah Hartenstein. I do think they're going to come to terms on a new deal with him. They're going to decline that team option and work something out. Maybe I've been penciling in like 3 years, 60 for him. But just in case things don't go well there, you can get another big, have another player that you can turn to, add to Chet. They're committed to keeping Chet Holmgren around despite his poor play in the Western Conference Finals. And the Thunder are going to be right back in the thick of things this coming year, even though last year didn't quite go as well as they would have hoped.
I very much cheated with the Thunder needs because all three things are the exact same thing, kind of. But they just don't need a lot, right? I mean, we all know this, but yeah, just bigs. And I almost only did one and just said a big. But yeah, I like what's interesting here is let's say they do go Aday Mara, Nate Ament could come back around to the Bucks with the 13th pick, and maybe they get him a few picks later instead of where they could have taken him a few picks earlier. So we'll see.
Perhaps that's what they were weighing there. Yeah. With that is if their guy was going to, which player would make it all the way back to them.
And he probably doesn't make a ton of sense. He would not have made a lot of sense for the Warriors because he's somebody who's going to need time to develop and figure things out in the NBA game. But with the Thunder can take projects if they wanted to, because you can put those guys in the G League, give them spot minutes here and there. So we'll see. But I'm going to guess this is Aday Mara. But OKC tends to go their own way sometimes too.
All right. No, nothing in yet. Okay. Thought it was coming in, but nothing there. And we'll see what OKC ultimately does. Then it'll be the Bucks on the clock. No trades yet.
No.
Any surprise? Well, as you said, though, sometimes it can be a situation where a deal gets agreed to, and then we find out later that Yaxel is actually going to another team or what have you.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, that could be the play. Sometimes that even comes a couple picks later where the team's like, hey, wait, we can actually get this guy. Like, let's do it almost in reverse here.
Teddy said, just a reminder that if Kawhi didn't lead the biggest turnaround any NBA team has had in NBA history, OKC would be picking top 5 this year. Should have been our James Worthy year. LOL. In other words, saying they would have been a really good team and then added James Worthy to the mix like the Lakers did way back in the early 80s. Man.
And no one would have liked that except for Thunder fans.
Except for
Which
Thunder
they
fans.
should have liked it, but
Sure.
all the rest of us would have just cried into our pillows that night.
Nobody wanted to see the Thunder. And they've got so many picks already to begin with. You don't want to see them adding more to this team.
Oh, I'm not going to pull the quote up that reminded me of it. While we're waiting on this news for this next pick, did you see Adam Silver's comments multiple times today about expansion?
No, I didn't.
He was asked multiple times in various interviews about expansion, and he said if they expand, it'll be Las Vegas and or Seattle. We know that part. But he said the target would be for the teams to start play with the 2028-29 season. So we'd play this upcoming season, one more season, and then the teams would start play. So
that's about the earliest I would have predicted.
Yep, that's exactly what I
because it takes a while to get all the infrastructure and everything set up to actually run a team and have. I mean, just when you think about everything, food service, ticket sales, all the different stuff that goes into it, and that's after you even find an ownership group. You got to find people to actually run the team and all the different things.
And there was news out of Las Vegas. I can't remember his name, but it's the gentleman who owns the Las Vegas Golden Knights, the hockey team, said he's bidding for the NBA team. So we're in a good place with that.
There it is.
Asks is he's like a big wing, is the way to think of him. He's a forward sized guy, but he plays more on the perimeter.
And no surprise, but Mara is going to the Oklahoma City Thunder, according to
really good pick for the Thunder. I think this is a really solid pick for them. Aday Mara can really move the ball. He's going to do well learning under Isaiah Hartenstein because we're going to assume Hartenstein is back there. So I think there will be a chance this ends up being one of the better picks out of this draft.
Of course, because it's OKC.
Yeah, very much so. All right, we're back around to the box. I'm going to leave the team needs off for now. And we'll take the ticker. And
I know it's early, but I wonder what excuses Rob is preparing to drop at the presser for not swinging for the fences. The free agency hasn't even started yet. I'm just saying. Again, yes, I would love it if they had already made some huge earth-shattering move and everybody was like, oh my God, how did they pull that up? But there's a lot of doom and gloom right now. And we see this around the league, though. Anytime anybody makes a move and it's not your team, people start to get upset. We'll see. I do know they've got a watch party going on. I believe they are expected to talk at this watch party afterwards. We'll see what they have to say. But the night is young and the off season is young as well. A lot of time to still make moves and figure things out.
A lot of people in the chat asking, is Isaiah Hartenstein available now? No, I mean, yes, in theory, but I don't think this changes the Thunder's plan. Thunder moved to Aaron Wiggins and that very much a salary dump for their side to get off of his $9 million for this coming season in an attempt to start to clear room under the aprons to keep Isaiah Hartenstein. I think what Mara is he will apprentice under Hartenstein for another year or two, and then we'll see where things go from there. But I think Mara will be in a place where this is a good learning experience for him. Mara's huge too, legit like 7'3", so a big guy, not super duper athletic, but not like a complete stiff either. So going to be really interesting to see how they kind of deploy and throw him up against a certain tall Frenchman who plays just south of Oklahoma City.
I have a feeling that has something to do with this selection here. All right, so now what does Milwaukee do at 13? Is this Ament?
This should probably be Nate Ament. They went with, oh my gosh, Braden Burries with the earlier pick. I think that was a very safe pick either way. Now I think if you go with Nate Ament, that's a little bit more of an upside play. With Ament, I'm a little higher than on him than the league itself was, as we're getting into the late lottery here. But it's just, I think this is the place where it feels like it's about right for Nate Ament.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, agreed. I think this is the right spot for him, and it makes sense as a landing spot as well for Milwaukee. And I think I'm curious, like, does Burries make it back to them had they flipped this and got Ament? I think
that's a good question. I don't know that he does.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think they ordered this correctly. If they're going, who knows? Maybe they were really hoping to get Mara, and they're kicking themselves right now.
And important to remember, it's the broadcast is showing this as the Heat selecting, but I love that now ESPN has added reported trade. It shows the Bucks logo because we know where this is ultimately going.
This is going to be wrong hat territory here. Yeah. Although we'll see if they fix that or not. But yeah, I do think this was the gamble that the Bucks took, and I think it did pay off for them. Their guy made it back.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, let me get into a few more of these chat questions. Surprising Mark Walter will let Pelinka manage the summer. That keeps or loses Luka. Hard to argue Pelinka is better in the top 20 of GMs. I do think the pressure is on him to do something here to get some stuff done. And if he doesn't, maybe that'll be a nod towards a change that comes. Maybe the seat starts getting a little hot. You typically, take everything else out of it. And typically when new ownership comes in, they want to bring in their people. So that in and of itself automatically creates a little bit of pressure. But I just think they're going to give him opportunities to try to add to this roster. And part of it is this was a team that made it to the second round with their best player injured, with one of their top 3 players injured for most of the first round and then not at 100% after that. And they were a 53-win team. It's not like this was a team that barely, made it into the play-in on fumes and oh my gosh, they have to tear this whole thing down right now and change everything out. I know people are looking for big moves, and that should be the expectation, that they do something significant, that they take real steps forward. But maybe I'm overly optimistic and people just get super negative about stuff in order to ease some of the pain if and when they don't do anything. And they've done it before. They did it a few summers ago. They didn't do anything all off season, just drafted Bronny James and Dalton Knecht, and that was it. But they were fairly active last summer. They haven't made a trade in the offseason in a number of years. So that's maybe a bit of a concern. But I'm just not going to get overly angry about it and upset and doom and gloom until we actually get towards the tail end. The dust is settling. And if they're still standing on the sidelines, that's when, to me, it's time to get upset. Otherwise, you just waste your time being mad when you don't even know if there's anything to be mad about just yet.
Question came in here that says, is the lack of trades today because of the new CBA? This is no longer the new CBA. We're now in the 4th year of this. So this is just the CBA. And I don't think that's got anything to do with the lack of trades. I think this was teams having players they liked, kind of in a lot of ways falling to them in the draft. Like, for example, the Kings, they waited it out, didn't make a move, and they got their guy in Darius Acuff. So I think that's part of it. And I think there's not always a lot of movement in the top 10 to 12 in a draft as far as trades go. Sometimes they do go a little bit more chalk in the beginning as far as no trades being made.
We just saw a huge superstar trade less than 24 hours ago.
Which involved one of these picks.
So Jake Fisher saying Nate Ament is going to be selected at 13. Again, nothing surprising there.
Great pick. This obviously I'm very high on Nate Ament. It seems like I'm higher than the consensus. I put that out there when I did my guys. I didn't have a chance to write the article this year. So I did it in the form of a post on Blue Sky and on Twitter. But I'm a big fan of Nate Ament, and I think that's a really good pick for the Bucks here with the pick they're getting from the Heat.
I agree. I think that they are indeed they're doing well.
We've got another set of doubles coming up too. So kind of weird that the double picks in this first round, you had the Bucks picking 10 and 13, the Thunder picking 12 and 17, and now we got the Hornets making their first pick, which was they have 14 and 18. Mm-hmm. So you kind of get a chance to double dip sort of here.
Yeah. And you say, why don't I do the Rob Pelinka skits and all that? We're working with NBA TV and stuff now, so I try to tone down the goofiness just a little bit here and there. That's just a me decision on that. I had fun doing those. It was fun doing a little bit of comedy, but tried to class it up ever so slightly, while knowing that we're also going to have some unscheduled nonsense still break in every now and then.
Yeah, we still get a little silly and goofy, but yeah, the planned goofiness is not gonna be as much. Yes, I owe you guys a Chewbacca sound at some point. We'll do that more towards the end of the draft. All right. Somebody, remember they said they were gonna remind me, and they did.
Yep.
Go here. Swain or Reed for the Lakers? I would go with Terrace Reed. Myself, but Swain would be okay. I don't hate that idea. Let's see when we even get there. Who's on the board, but I like Terrace Reed a lot. Oops.
A huge fan. Thanks for the work. Appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
Thank you for that.
Is that the guy from Dune wearing an Auburn beanie?
I have not seen Dune.
Yeah, I haven't seen Dune either. So full disclosure, I've tried to watch Dune 4 different times and fallen asleep in the first hour each time. And it's not because the movie is bad. And now I'm just terrified of the length of the movie. I'm also terrified of the length of Oppenheimer. So I've not seen that either.
Especially this time of year.
Yeah.
We don't have that kind of time. Trev wearing colored shirts and combing his hair. Keith and I collectively made that decision before we came on. We're like, it's the draft. Let's make it a little bit more special. And I look at my wife and go, we're gonna make it a little more special. That means I'm just putting on a colored polo shirt.
Putting on a polo shirt
instead of a t-shirt.
Hey, whatever. We're having fun, guys. Cam Carr to the Lakers if he fell that far. Yeah, that'd be a good pick. Yeah. I like that.
Shams not tweeting the draft. I miss Woj. Well, Shams is with ESPN, so I have a feeling they probably told him, "Hey, don't spoil the draft. Don't spoil the picks."
Yep.
I imagine that was coming there. Trevor, remember you from the Club Lakers days? Oh, that was way back when.
Is Club Lakers? Is that like Club Penguin?
No, I don't even know what Club Penguin is, but that was a message board. I don't know if it's still in existence or not, but remember Real GM is the one that still survived.
Yeah.
But there for a while there, before it was a lot of social media platforms, it was message boards that people were going to get like their info on trades and talk hoops and all that kind of stuff. So that was an old message board from back in the day. There was Club Lakers. There was Lakers Ground was another one. I think they're still around. At least one of them is.
Real GM. Real GM's where I came from. I was writing absurdly, obnoxiously long message board posts that got me noticed and got me my first writing job at Real GM. So
that was when Eric Pincus posted all the time over on Club Lakers Ground, M-Play over on those things.
He still uses that on some places.
Yep.
So yeah. Trevor banned me on Club Lakers like 15 years ago.
I was never in a position of power. That was never like a moderator or anything like that.
I love it. I
definitely wasn't me.
Dude, it's funny thinking about message boards. I remember sitting in the Real GM trade room because before Twitter, the way you got news was a lot of times guys would go on radio spots in local areas like leading into the trade deadline. And then somebody who happened to hear that radio spot in like LA would be like, all right, I'm going to post it for everybody, what Woj said on the radio in LA, or whoever the beat writer talked about, or whatever. It was crazy times. I also remember sitting in an AOL chat room. That's how old I am, back in the day, to also get great news.
That was how most of us learned how to type.
Yeah.
Was chat rooms and being able to go to that, or AIM, instant messenger, and all that.
Leave up your away message.
Yep, that's right.
Going to class. Those were the days.
All right, so what does Charlotte do here at 14?
Yeah, I think they would have loved to have gotten like Morez Johnson, or maybe even Aday Mara. So now let's see. I think things have kind of opened up a little bit here with the draft. They could use another ball handler. I have a lot of depth directly behind LaMelo Ball. Kobe White is a free agent. Kobe White can play on and off ball, so maybe Bennett Sturts could come off the board here. I think this could be a spot for someone like Chris Cenac, who I'm pretty high on as a big. Maybe they go more of a project type player like Kareem Lopez or Koa Pete. We'll see.
There's a number of different directions they can go. And how much do they factor in the fact that they've got 2 picks here? You trying to get one type of player, and if you're projecting certain players to be there at 18, that's always the interesting kind of guesswork that you can make in a draft like this. When you've got 2 picks so close together at 14 and 18, you can try to make assumptions at who you think will be there at 18, and maybe that will inform you a little bit of who you take at 14 as well. If you're, for example, if you really like a big, that, just to use an example, a big that's there at 18, you probably don't go with big at 14. You have to make your decisions there based on what you think is going to happen and how the draft is going to play out. And then it's the longest time of your life waiting to see if that happens. Oh, speaking of which, we do have the pick in, and it is, wait, is that, oh, okay, sorry, it went away. Steinbach goes.
Hannes Steinbach. Okay. All right. That's a big 4'5", big man. A little bit of shooting range, play around the rim a little bit. So Hornets need to add more size, and they get it in Steinbach. So that's another good player to kind of throw in that big mix with Moussa Diabate, Ryan Kalkbrenner. He gives a little bit of a different look. Diabate and Kalkbrenner are going to play closer to the basket. Steinbach can step out a little bit and shoot the ball. So I think that's a pretty good pickup.
He was mocked to the Hornets quite a bit. I saw that going around. 34% from 3 on 1.8 attempts per game, 11.8 rebounds. A guy who can really rebound the basketball. 1.2 blocks per game, as well as just under 19 points this last season. So this could wind up being a nice fit for them. We've talked about, as much as I love Moussa Diabate, there's questions about whether or not he is the long-term starter. But certainly, regardless of how you view him, you could use more in the middle there. They've got Kalkbrenner is there in the middle as well to round things out. But this is a solid pick, I think, for the Hornets. And it makes me wonder what they wind up doing at 18 now.
Yeah, especially with Miles Bridges and Grant Williams, both
right
expiring contracts. You're starting to put yourself in a position here where you want to rebuild your depth behind those guys as well. I want to pull guys, I can't recommend more highly the no ceilings NBA draft guide. If anybody's looking to pick stuff up, even if it's like, well, the draft's going on, why do we need this? It's going to tell you a lot about these players and give you a really good sense of what they can do. But they have some really cool shooting information. And he was only 11 out of 23, but 47.8 from top of the key threes last year in college. And that's not bad. That's a very interesting kind of position there with that. He was much more of a post up, put back kind of play in transition type player. So really interesting guy. I think it's going to be there. He's not necessarily he's not going to be an anchor big who's going to protect the rim that way for you. But what you could do with him is you could probably play him a little bit with Diabate or Kalkbrenner, who can do some of that even more.
All right, now we've got Chicago on the clock. With their second pick of the draft. What does Chicago do after getting Caleb Wilson?
Yeah, so now you can kind of go anywhere. Hey, if you're the Bulls,
right.
I like maybe Cameron Carr here for them.
Mhm.
I think getting a wing, 3-and-D wing potential in Cameron Carr, that would make a lot of sense. If they wanted to get a guard, Bennett Sturts, I have now not as much upside with Sturts because he's an older player, so they may want to be leaning more with younger guys. You could go with like a Christian Anderson here if you were the Bulls. With that, probably they go with a guard that probably sends a message how they view like Rob Dillingham in this position. But I would like Cameron Carr for them at this spot.
We'll see if they ultimately go through with that and make that selection. We'll be keeping a close eye here, and then we'll have the Grizzlies coming up, and then OKC again. Still Rocks wants to know, how did you guys get so good at your jobs? Did you guys go to school for sports journalism?
Yeah, we can.
Especially the gentleman that explains the fine details of the cap space and stuff. Are you a numbers guy?
No, it's surprisingly no. Math is not my thing, really at all. Like so I can kind of answer this for both of us. No, neither one of us went to school to do this. Partially because this wasn't a thing when we went to school. But it was, we both love basketball and had other jobs and came to this instead. I appreciate that he says, how did we get so good in our jobs? Reps, and we love it, right? It's passion for us. So we're just very in a place to talk what we love and talk basketball. And I like to think what people like with us is we're authentic. We don't go crazy with hot takes and say a lot of stuff. We try to have a lot of fun. It's sports, it's basketball, it should be fun. So that's that. And then for learning the cap, I did a lot of contract work in my previous job with Disney, so I was very in a place to that naturally has attraction to me, and I like how people build up rosters. And I had a lot of help along the way from people like you mentioned Eric Pincus earlier, Larry Kuhn, Bobby Marks, John Hollinger, all guys who were really good to me early on, helping me learn the salary cap and the ins and outs of the CBA. And if you guys like doing that, do Sports Business Classroom. I would highly recommend looking into it. sportsbusinessclassroom.com. If you want to come hang out with me for a week this summer in Las Vegas, check it out. And we'll be able to kind of, you'll learn a whole lot about a lot of things in the NBA, all kinds of things you can major in. We'll talk more about that probably tomorrow or later in the week.
This has very much been an obsession for both of us in terms of how we grew in this field, and just it's something we try to get better every day when we can get better and better and better every single day at the content that we provide, the information we provide, and just continue to grow and move forward. And it's been very rewarding. I can say we're both very, very happy here. But the Chicago Bulls, a surprise.
Ooh, Dalen
Swain off the board.
3-and-D player for them is the hope. With Dalen Swain, I liked Cameron Carr.
What about the 3 spot though?
In that archetype, but yeah, I think Dalen Swain's that's a solid pick again. Nobody's like gone like super like oh my gosh, like this guy went 20 picks too early or anything.
I mean, this is early, but not like 20
early,
picks
but not
early, right?
Yeah, but not so early where you're like, oh, what's happening here?
So,
yeah. Good.
So Dalen Swain going. The question is the jumper. So the 3 and of the part of the 3-and-D of this, is that going to come around? It's not like he's awful. He was 34% from 3. Form is a little bit funky, but I think he can ultimately develop as long as he can be at least a league average 3-point shooter. Great wiggle, great ability to attack off the dribble and beat his man and get into the paint, get paint touches. I think there's a lot of upside here. If the jumper comes around, he could wind up very much being a steal here at this spot for Chicago, because that's really the only thing that is holding people back on him. If you believe that will get fixed and that he will become a at least solid shooter, you've got a guy that can do a lot out there on the wing with him, both defensively and offensively. Yeah. So there's the potential here for the Bulls to have just picked up a very, very good two-way player.
Yeah, it's kind of got that prototype wing size that people want now at legit 6'6", 6'7". So I think we're in a good place with the Bulls adding Wilson and Swain, adding Nick Claxton in trade. Now they're kind of cleaning up a little bit for some of the other guys on the roster who aren't as good defensively. These guys are going to be some of the cover for some of that. But I like that pick. I think that's a very interesting pick. It's a little higher than I had him. He's not in my top 20. I can tell you guys I had him in the lower 20s, but not so far out of range where it's like, oh my gosh, I got to rip these guys for this pick. I think this is perfectly fine.
Right. Agreed.
If anybody's a Simpsons fan, it's a perfectly cromulent pick.
I like Dalen Swain a lot. He was one of my favorite guys in this draft class.
He walked to the Lakers a lot.
He was, and that's why. So I looked into him quite a bit. And this is a guy that 15 seems early, but if he ends up doing what I think he can do, like in short order, we won't be questioning how early the Bulls took him. I really like the ceiling here with Dalen Swain. So this could work out very, very nicely for the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah.
It's Swain. Keith, there's certain prospects that you watch and you go, oh, that guy's going to be fun in summer league.
Yeah.
It doesn't ultimately matter, but as we're counting down the weeks till we get to go, Dalen Swain is one of those guys that I think is going to be a lot of fun in summer league.
Yeah, for sure. I completely agree with that. We get a little bit of a thing here from Jake Fisher. We're halfway through. No trades outside of the 13 swap, which went in the honest trade. But he says, but we're expecting plenty of movement in the second half of the first round, particularly across picks 20 to 30. That's been kind of the building buzz, I guess is the best way to put that. So yeah, that should be interesting.
So there's a general perception that there is a drop off in talent somewhere late in the first round, that there's a cliff there, depending on, it's an eye of the beholder thing, of course. Yep. And so some of the teams at the back end of the first round are either going to be looking to trade out of that pick or trade up if they can. There's a number of picks who can be on the move. 23, Atlanta has been for weeks now. We've been talking about Atlanta potentially moving that pick. The Knicks at 24, especially given their cap situation that they're dealing with. There are a number of picks that are certainly going to be available there. So if you're right now complaining there haven't been trades, like that could very well be coming here as we get into the 20s.
Yeah, in Brooklyn with 28, they drafted 5 guys in the first round last year. Drafted Mikel Brown earlier in the day. That could be one where, like, if New Orleans is really like, oh, we love a guy, we want to get into the first round, as has been rumored, you could see Brooklyn swap out 28. Dallas with 30, that's their second first-round pick. You mentioned Atlanta at 23. Those could all be where we start to see some movement. We could even see OKC. I don't know that OKC is going to keep 17. Wouldn't surprise me at all if they move that for, like, future draft capital as they kind of
it would make sense
down the road.
Yeah, if they were to turn that into a later first-round pick, there's still some interesting talent on the board. I think somebody would be willing to give up a future first-round pick to get 17 in this draft if OKC is willing to do that. But again, if I'm OKC, I'm not doing that until I'm right there at that pick and I haven't gotten something better or something more immediate that can help me right now. And in lieu of that, sure, I'll take a future pick and off you go with that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, we know it's impressive. If there's a chance to get an extra draft pick or two, he's certainly going to do it.
Yep. He's got them all stacked up. He's got a draft pick trophy room for all of them. They all have their own protective cases that they live in. He loves his draft picks. That's for sure. All right, let's check this one out. Said, good morning from Taiwan.
Oh, man.
Good day.
Good day, mate.
Appreciate your work. Look forward to pick number 25. Yeah, we're getting there.
Yeah,
we're getting there.
We're easing our way.
What did the Grizz do at 16? Keith, I had to notice our guy Gabe in Memphis. We both do radio work with him.
Yeah.
Was just talking about LeBaron Phylon falling. Is that the pick in Memphis?
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say he's falling, but yeah, I mean, that could certainly be a pick here. For the Grizzlies, he's a little bit lower on my board. But yeah, I mean, the Grizzlies went with Cam Boozer at number 3. They could use a guard in the mix. Now they've got other guards. I know we're both fans of Scottie Pippen Jr. Even if John Morant is moved on from. So, but yeah, you could nail somebody like Phylon. Christian Anderson could be a good pickup there as well. Not another big. That is certainly not anything that they need there in Memphis.
Yeah, they don't need another big, but there's some options here. Too early for Ibuka Aorei?
Yeah, for me it is. He's very small. I'm just a little nervous about that. With him, I do think he's going to be a good player, but he kind of profiles for me as more of a really good high end backup spot starter kind of player than necessarily a locked in starting point guard. That said, I mean his production was really really good at Stanford, so it's just this is a little bit high to take him.
Agreed. I've got concern. He's got that 6'7" wingspan, 6'7", but that it helps him with finishing in the paint. But I wonder how that's going to translate at the NBA level. Very quick though. I think he will
super smart.
I think he can be an okay defensive player, but that's probably the upside with him is okay defensively. There's a world where he gets picked on a lot defensively, and that could really, I think, hold him back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yep. Agreed. See what you did in the chat.
I know. I'm sorry. So what happens with Trey Murphy? Do the Warriors pursue with future picks? Yeah, I think the interest in Trey Murphy isn't going to go away. Just if the Pelicans are actually serious about moving him, they're going to get somebody to pay what I think most would view to be an overpay, or they're going to keep him, right? Like that seems to be the way the Pelicans are looking at things. And I keep saying the Pelicans, from everything we've heard, they view themselves very differently than how everybody else views them. Everybody else views them as a team that should be rebuilding, trading away talent, getting future picks, all that kind of stuff. They view themselves as a secretly good team that has just been upended by injuries. And with that being the case, I don't think they want to part with talent unless they're getting stuff that they really, really want.
Yeah, I think they're going to need a couple first at least to move Trey Murphy. So, and the Yaxel Lendeborg pick doesn't really scream like, well, we can put him into a trade there with that. So, yeah, we'll see. Nobody's broken this one yet, and the pick is in.
So, greetings from Copenhagen.
Hey, have a Danish for us.
Yeah. All right, let's see what happens here. I'm surprised we have that nobody has gotten this.
Yeah. For that person who said hello from Copenhagen, shout out to my guy Morten Jensen, the most knowledgeable basketball person in all of Denmark.
Ah, there you go.
Know where Copenhagen is. It's in Denmark. Come on, we're not stupid. I think the chat thinks we're dumb.
We play dumb sometimes.
I mean, that's certainly dumb about.
We have our moments.
Yeah. Moments of idiocy does not mean we're dumb, though.
No.
Somebody said, Bennett Sturts, per Michael Scotto.
Huh? All right.
So the Grizzlies. Right. So there's your guard. Little older, but not the end of the world. They went with an older guy with Edie. Kent Boozer, not an older player, but seen as a very mature player. So I think that makes some sense. They're trading him to the Thunder
for 2 seconds.
That something's off.
That's not. That can't be right.
17 is also going.
Yeah, that's got to be it.
It's got to be 17 in 2 seconds because you would not trade 16 for just 2 seconds.
If it's just 16 for 2 seconds, then Sam Presti just annihilated everybody again. So we do have. So Keith, for the first time. Yeah, the first time we actually get to use the trade drop here.
Finally, what do we? No,
Jake just confirmed they're trading it to OKC. If it's you move back one spot and pick up a couple of seconds for your trouble,
that's great. Yeah, Sturts interesting for the Thunder guard, and could be more movement coming for OKC then. Let's keep an eye on that.
It's still right now 2 second-round picks. I just can't see the Grizzlies actually doing just 2 seconds. It's got to be the 17th pick.
I mean, Memphis is running out of roster spots for sure, but not to the extent of giving away a mid-round first for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I'll be surprised if this is not moved back a pick and pick up 2 seconds. We'll see.
Shams put it on the ESPN app as well.
Yeah.
But that could have just been copied and pasted from the tweet. I'd imagine we'll get clarification on this shortly. But that would be a steal for the Thunder if it really is 2 second-round pick. And if that's the case, just about anybody would have jumped in with 3 seconds and said, "Cool, here you go. If you're willing to take second-round picks for this."
All right. I do like Bennett Sturts. We'll just talk about the player a little. Really good guard. He's got good size for a guy who can play on or off ball, which is why he would fit with the Thunder quite a bit. Because obviously, if you're a guard, you need to play off ball because Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is there, can really shoot the ball. And he's a guy who had to do a lot of heavy lifting this last year. So I think we're in a position for him where it becomes it becomes kind of all right, he has to do a lot of work on his own. So his efficiency wasn't as good, even though it was still pretty good. Put him in a place where it's even better. It'll look even better.
And there it is. There's the clarification from Jake Fisher. Indeed, it is the 16th pick. The Thunder are giving up 2 seconds to move up one spot to make sure they get Bennett Sturts.
Yeah. So the Thunder get the guy they wanted, right? And Sturts. Yeah. Here's the thing. This is the value of having all those extra picks.
Yeah.
If you're the Thunder and remember, they just got 2 picks for Aaron Wiggins. That'll deliver them 2 picks. Maybe it's one of those picks that's going here. And if you're the Grizzlies, like you said before, this is a really good work to get a couple extra assets to move back one spot.
Yeah. I mean, you move, and it's very possible that Sturts was not the Grizzlies guy anyway.
Exactly.
So they're moving back a spot, getting their guy in it for free. Basically, they're getting 2 second-round picks for nothing. Awesome. In fact, technically, Keith, they get their guy at a slightly cheaper price too. By moving back one slot.
Money. Yep. Yeah. I mean, this is good work by both sides here, right? This is just OKC. We've got the draft capital to move up and get the guy we really want. I think Sturts is really interesting. Let's see what that means for like Isaiah Joe, or could this be Case and Wallace insurance if they can't get something done with Case and Wallace extension wise? Maybe that could be a thing. This is an interesting pickup for them.
Yeah, and now we see what Memphis is going to do with the 17th pick, which I believe Lakers fans will tell you is cursed. If you didn't know. I don't know if Danhausen got a hold of it or not, but it does appear to be cursed.
There you go.
So
our third draft related trade involving picks this year.
All right. So we'll see what Memphis is going to do here now that they're going to be on the clock. And who they grab. Again, if you're the Grizz and you get your guy anyway, you get 2 free second-round picks. Fantastic. Yep. Fantastic. If LA strikes out on Kessler, how big of a mishap was missing on Claxton? Kind of feels like Rob missed one with that knowing he went for hope I'm wrong. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I said it a bunch of times since that trade went down that either the Lakers have something else planned, and that plan could be they're staying above the cap, and in which case they don't have the room to absorb Claxton anyway, or they've got something else planned, another big they're going to land, or maybe they don't like Nick Claxton. Which one of those things it is, I don't know, because that did seem like a trade that would have just been teed up for them, just take them into cap space. But again, we won't know until the dust settles here. And we find out what they've either done or not done. Because if it turns out that they didn't get anybody better than Nick Claxton, then I think there'll be a lot of fair questions about, well, why didn't you just make that move, right, and pick up a player?
Yeah. The challenge, too, is if the Bulls and Nets and Timberwolves are like, we want to get this done. We need to move right now. The Lakers may not know yet, and I believe they don't know yet if they're going to be over the cap or under the cap. The Bulls and Nets both knew they were going to be under the cap. And that's the way that trade ends up ultimately working. So,
in terms of them not knowing like what it would cost to bring back LeBron or what it would cost, some of those players.
So if the Lakers didn't have that, they may not have been able to say, hey, we'll jump in and take Claxton.
Yeah.
Is Claxton better than Ayton and Hayes? Yeah, probably.
Oh, Jake Fisher said we've got another trade.
Okay.
He did ... So now we're all on pins and needles.
Don't do that. Just tell us what it is.
Right. So we do have a trade though.
Okay.
And now we wait. Let's build the tension here.
So somebody else trading into this spot, which is now, remember, this is the Grizzlies spot.
The Detroit Pistons are acquiring the 17th pick and will select Ibuka Aorei.
Okay. All right.
So Detroit, I wonder, are they giving up 21 to move up and do this?
And Sham says, yeah, they're 21 and 3 second-round picks.
Oh.
Holy cow, Memphis is just loading up on picks.
Memphis. So Memphis, in trading back
from
5 spots?
Yeah.
6 spots? 5 spots. I guess they pick up 5 second-round picks?
Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's you got 1 second-round pick per spot you drop back.
So that's going to be.
And again, for Memphis, we don't know who their guy is. I mean, that's a pretty nice return for the Grizzlies to pick up that many. Now, we don't know the quality of those seconds. Maybe they're early seconds. Maybe they're late. The Pistons, meanwhile, move up and get their guy. What does this mean for our guy, Dennis Jenkins?
I don't think anything. I think Jenkins can play off the ball more. Marcus Sasser probably, he's out of the picture now, I guess, in Detroit there. But the Pistons, they've been focused. The big offseason priority, I would say they're not done, is getting more creation and more guys who can, do more things as far as playing on and off ball. And Aorei looks like he's a guy who's going to give them at least some more on-ball playmaking alongside Cade Cunningham, which is as we all saw in the playoffs. It was just too much Cade and not a whole lot else when they were going against both Orlando and Cleveland.
Yeah. And we talked about the defensive concerns with Aorei, but the Piston, if anybody was going to be able to shield him from that, the Pistons certainly have a roster set up to do that.
Yep. Absolutely.
Okay. So that's interesting there that the Grizzlies able to move back. Keith, I love this for the Grizzlies. For the Grizzlies, and they're still going to get somebody good at 21, and you just picked up 5 second-round picks. That's a lot to move back a few spots. And I don't know if they'll get the guy they were planning on taking at 16, but that's still quite a return. And there's going to be some really good players on the board still there at 21 for them.
Yeah, without a doubt. And that's the kind of key thing, right? That turns into, if you're Memphis, you're kind of taking OKC's approach here of like, hey, let's just start stacking assets. Like if there's not a player you're in love with picking for yourself at your pick, you might as well move back and see. And it's not like they moved back to 28 or out of the first round entirely. Yeah. It's just moved back enough to maybe still get the guy you like. Maybe he's still on the board at 21.
You never know. Certainly could be. Wow. Good stuff there. And if Aorei winds up working out in Detroit, then no problems with them spending what it takes to move up and grab him. Obviously, they did not think Aorei was going to make it to 21.
No.
I wonder who are they jumping in front of? Were they worried the Grizz were going to take him?
Toronto, maybe.
Toronto would have gone with him?
Another guard. Charlotte, too, with this second pick. They went with the big man. They could use I know they have LaMelo Ball, but you could use another player behind. You never have enough ball handlers, at this point in the NBA. So that might have been a fear as well. Probably not Philly. I don't know. I mean, Philly did trade Jared McCain. So Atlanta already drafted their ball handler. Those guys are behind them anyway. Never mind. San Antonio certainly doesn't need another guard. So, yeah, I mean, that's probably it. It was probably they probably looked at it and said, "Hey, chance for us to go up and get our guy."
Yeah. Toronto. Yeah, it could have been Toronto. Could have been Toronto. Are the Grizzlies going to move these seconds? Maybe, but we don't know when those seconds. They could be 20, 30 seconds. Like, we don't know when the seconds are.
Future seconds right now.
They're just future seconds. We have no idea what they are right now. All right. So now we're heading to the 18th pick. And Charlotte comes up again. Dan Wojcicki now off the top rope saying Christian Anderson could be the choice at 18.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, makes sense. That would be to Charlotte. Again, I've been saying they need more ball handling behind LaMelo Ball. So that could make sense. This could also be a spot where maybe Charlotte, because it's the second pick, maybe they're picking for somebody else at this point. How about Jake's tweet saying we're going to see movement in the second half? Well, he's absolutely spot on.
He was right. We've seen, and he was saying between 20 and 30.
Yeah.
We're not even to 20. I mean, we're at 18. So there's movement.
And Jake confirms Charlotte is going to take Christian Anderson at number 18.
Okay.
I like that pickup. He's much more of a scorer. What this is protection in case things get sideways with Kobe White. Mm-hmm. This gives you one more ball handler again for your backcourt, because Kobe White, even if he's back, can also play off ball. You can play Anderson and White together, I think, with no real issues there, because Kobe White has pretty good size. So I think we could definitely see some good stuff there.
I had somebody in my mentions respond about the Grizzlies trade that the Grizz are going to need all those second rounders to get somebody to take Ja Morant.
Oh,
that's an interesting situation there with
yeah, Memphis. It's going to take more than seconds if it's a straight salary dump.
It feels like every day we're hearing more teams that are out on Ja Morant.
Yeah, it's tough, and I think they were hopeful maybe Minnesota might have been a thing, but now when Minnesota traded Randall, not to say the trade couldn't still expand because it's not done yet, but that became kind of one of those situations where it's like, what is, like, how would they even match salary?
Right.
For him, and that's that definitely a questionable thing there.
All right, what do the Raptors do at 19?
Yeah, I would have thought this might have been a spot for Christian Anderson.
What about Cenac?
But no, he's off the board. Yeah, they could use size for sure. So you could see like Henry Visar come off the board here.
Wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, like Chris Cenac for them. Cameron Carr he's kind of starting to slip a little bit for me, but they don't really need more wings. Allen Graves is a good player. This could be Phylon's spot potentially. That's a guy who would make some sense as another ball handler to put in the mix.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting in range for Jaden Quaintance too, if somebody wants to take a chance on him.
That's one where it's so hard to figure out where he's going to go because we don't have access to the medical info that these teams are going to have.
Yeah, if he falls all the way out of the first, then we don't need access to it because we know teams are like, nope.
We know teams saw stuff on there that they did not like if he falls all the way out of the first. Because if he's healthy, he is a destructive force.
He's a lottery
defensively. Yeah. But it would be very telling if he were to truly fall that far. That would tell you. That's the hard thing. I have a lot of Lakers fans that have been saying like, oh, it could Quaintance fall to 25. Like, he could, but if he does, is that inherently a sign that you should not take him if he falls that far? Because that would tell you that
it's tough at that point for sure.
Right? That something obviously was not good on those medicals.
Yeah, and then not that we needed our math confirmed, but Sham says Grizzlies moving back from 16 to 17, 17 to 21, 5 second-round picks to move back just 5 spots. So
there it is.
It's good work by Memphis.
It really is.
Yeah.
That's impressive. And we'll see where those seconds are. But second-round picks aren't, I mean, you look at how many second-round picks actually remain in the hands of the original team. It's most of them do not. The vast majority of them get traded and often traded multiple times. Second-round picks are used to grease the wheels of a trade. And this just gives Memphis more arrows in the quiver as they're building out this team. So that's a really good bit of work. And again, I think they're still going to walk away with somebody pretty good at 21.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're definitely set up to do that. Let's a little bit of detective work here on what maybe some of these picks were that moved around. I'm not even going to guess at the ones they got from the Thunder because who knows?
You're trying to figure out which picks Memphis got?
Yeah. Detroit.
All right, I'll get into some super chats here. Lakers would
Detroit
have won
had
the
a whole
West
bunch too. Sorry.
Yeah. Lakers would have won the West this year with healthy Reeves and Luka. I don't know why everyone's freaking out thinking the Lakers aren't a top team. Man, I've got to be in the upper percentile of the biggest Lakers fans in the world, and I'm not going to say they would have won the West. I mean, they weren't in that tier. Could they have been better? Could they have maybe given OKC a little bit more of a run? Sure, absolutely, right? But I don't think they were getting past OKC regardless.
Yeah.
Hi from Toronto, Canada. Well, good day. What do you think about Christian Anderson?
From like that.
Yeah.
Almost got there.
Almost.
Yeah.
Almost.
He almost
didn't quite work out.
Yeah.
Jay said, why? Just why? I don't know. I don't know what
in general in life.
I don't know what you're whying about.
Oh geez, I am woefully behind on doing the ticker. I get caught up in all this trade movement here. All right, so let's see. It ended up being 16. Ended up being Thunder.
Obviously, we've not seen a Jaylen Brown trade to this point.
Yeah,
that has not gone down.
That tells me it's not going to involve any of these picks that were made tonight. Because now we're getting a little too late. All right, so the Thunder got Bennett Sturts. We're going to do a little recapping here live. And then 17 was the Pistons. We're just going to do via Thunder because they are the ones who owned the pick originally. Who did the Pistons get? Ibuka Aorei, right?
Yeah, Corey.
Then the Hornets took Christian Anderson. Right?
And right now it is the Toronto Raptors on the clock. Maybe this is the landing spot for Phylon. We'll see what that looks like. Cameron Carr.
I don't like when it makes me second guess if I spell the guy's name right. And I did. All right, there we go. I think that's all.
You got it?
I think so. Seems to be good. All right. We're at Toronto. We're coming down to it.
Somebody said, Keith, are you bummed to not get Giannis?
Yeah, a little bit. I had talked myself into it when it looked like it was like a real possibility. I was excited for something very different than what I've watched, but it would have been hard to see Jaylen Brown go. He's been there for so long and was there. Like, it's just hard when it's your guys, right? Like they it sounds so stupid to put it this way, but they start to almost feel like family, right? It's like, hey, I check in with them 82 times a year I don't talk to some members of my family that often. So,
right.
It's like, yeah, you get to see them all the time. And you watch them grow from like these 18, 19, 20-year-old kids into, grown men. So it would have been sad to see Jaylen Brown go, but I had kind of made my peace with it. And I was ready for the idea of Giannis. So yeah, a little bummed out. But that said, when it turned into Jaylen, and the reporting this morning that it was Jaylen Brown and 2 first-round picks was not enough. As I said, for a while, once it got to be past Jaylen Brown, it was like plus.
Yeah.
Then I'm out. Like, that was too much. I would not have paid that big of a price.
Keith, we got a little news here. Dan Woike, once again, the RKO out of nowhere. Alan Graves for Toronto.
Okay. fits the archetype of kind of do everything forwards, really high level productive player at Santa Clara last year. Good player. It is a little weird. It's another forward sized guy in a team
I'm surprised by that.
Just a million forward sized guys. So that part, yeah, a little surprising for sure.
So, but Allen Graves going to Toronto at 19, which is then going to put the San Antonio Spurs on the clock. Been hearing some people talk about could the Spurs be the landing spot for Cenac?
Yeah, it could be. They could definitely use more size because right now it's kind of Wemby, Cornette, and then it was all those veteran guys like Biyombo and Plumlee and Olynyk. If any of those guys are back, they're back as like back of the bench, break glass, bigs there. So yeah, Chris Cenac could make sense there. Visar could also make some sense for them. Certainly, probably not Phylon. They don't really need another guard in San Antonio. So wings could make sense. Like Isaiah Evans potentially could be a pick there.
Yeah, there's still some interesting talent that's on the board here. Just making a list of some of the guys that are still out there. Allen Graves going to Toronto, and now we head to San Antonio at 20, and that pick is in and official. Well, this is where Jake said we're going to start seeing trades now in the 20s. We already got some here at the end of the teens. I'm keeping an eye on Atlanta at 23, on New York at 24. Those are picks that could potentially be available via trade here. Denver at 26 is interesting. You never know what the Lakers are going to do. Everything's been super quiet from them. We'll see what's going to happen there. But there's some interesting talent still out there, and wouldn't surprise me if we see some movement here.
Yeah, especially Brooklyn and Dallas, 28 and 30 second picks. So if they're not Brooklyn, I just got to believe. I mean, 7 rookies over 2 years.
That's a lot.
A lot of dudes to bring in all at once, even if you are in talent collection mode.
Yeah, Kareem Lopez also still sitting out there.
Yeah, that's an interesting pick for like San Antonio, where you're good enough, you could kind of go develop in the G League, and we'll figure it out. Keep an eye on with New York potentially draft and stash, maybe same thing with Denver. Not a lot of great draft and stash candidates, but where they have very real concerns with the aprons, maybe they pick somebody and say, hey, we'll see you in a year or so.
Right.
The guys that would be kind of in the mix for that are like, I don't think Lopez is going to stay overseas another year, but Sergio De La Rey could be somebody in that range. This is not a very deep international class at all. Some of the better international guys chose to go to college instead of entering into the draft, and they're making more money and through NIL than they would being late first round picks, maybe not even.
All right, let's see what happens here at 20 with the San Antonio Spurs. Obviously looking to add somebody to Victor Wembanyama, and we'll see. Plus Steph Castle, plus Dylan Harper, and on and on and on in San Antonio. I mean, Carr, Phylon, Vesar, Quaintance, Evans, Cenac,
a lot of guys,
Zuby Ejiofor, Kareem Lopez, Terrace Reed, Joshua Jefferson. Like, there's a lot still out there. Let's see what San Antonio does here. Need 3 bigs minimum now in the West. Yeah, I do think that bigs are back in style in the NBA, especially with Wemby. You've got more teams that are needing size out there. And I think that we're also seeing teams leaning more into having bigs with range, having bigs that can step out to the 3-point line and pull opposing bigs out of the paint. They can play 5 out. So that's I think it's a trend that we're seeing in the NBA. There was a period there where everybody was going smaller. Now we're seeing more investment into bigs, and I think more versatility among bigs too, as more of the bigger players are realizing that their games have to be a bit more diverse than the traditional back to the basket game. So as those generations are coming up, we're getting more bigs that can do things that NBA teams are really looking for. And teams weren't going small because they prefer smaller players. Teams were going small to get more skilled. Now that you've got bigs out there that can do more things, they're becoming more of a necessity to have. So there is a need to have multiple bigs now on rosters, and it's to the point where a position that for a while there was super easy to go find a fairly decent big man out there on the market, now it's become something of a position of scarcity.
Yeah, and I think...
Oh, there goes Quaintance.
Okay.
To the Spurs.
That's a great upside pick for San Antonio. Like, that is perfect for them. They don't necessarily need him to play right away. They can work with him. If he needs a little bit more recovery time from some of these injuries, they're in a good place.
Yeah, they don't have to put him out there on the floor right away. And defensively, obviously, if he does play, he's going to fit in perfectly with that San Antonio team.
Yep.
If he's healthy.
That's the big if. Yeah.
But obviously, if they took him at 20, the Spurs feel confident enough about his knee. And we'll see how that all plays out. There had been some talk that he won't be ready to start the season. But if you're San Antonio, you don't necessarily need him to be ready to start the season.
And I just spelled his name wrong for probably the first of many, many times.
I've done that so many times on him.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I love this pick for San Antonio. This is like you don't need a whole lot, so you might as well go for upside here. And if you can get this guy right, this we talked about it earlier, steals of the draft, like he may be one of the absolute steals.
Yeah, he could very much end up being if he's healthy, if you knew he was going to have a healthy career, he'd be a lottery pick.
Yeah.
So if they feel like he's going to be healthy, this could be a really nice selection. All right, Jake Fisher saying there were a lot of medical red flags coming up for Jaden Quaintance, and many teams were scared about his knee. San Antonio has the opportunity to slow roll his return.
Yep. Yep. All right, so this is going to show as Detroit up next, but through the trades, this is actually going to be picking for Memphis for now.
Correct.
Unless Memphis decides to trade back again.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? If you're Memphis, maybe if your guy is still on the board and there's a bunch of other guys, you could just keep moving back, I guess. But yeah, there's
I'm gonna guess this maybe is Leberon Phylon.
That would make sense.
Yeah, I think he like get yourself a guard and no reason to continue to move back. So we had just kind of just numbers-y stuff here. Record low early entry candidates in this year's draft, and we have seen almost all of them come off the board now. We're getting down to very few early entry guys, which is a good thing. We're no longer in the position where we used to see like 70, 80, 100 early entry players, and then all these guys left college early and then had nowhere to go. I mean, they'd say that knowing the G League or overseas, but much better process now.
Who do you think is the biggest faller? Like who in this draft has slipped the most? That is surprising you that's still there. It's a Carr.
Yeah, probably. I had him 14th on my final board. So yeah, probably Carr. Because now we're getting into the 20s. That's not even that bad, right? That's only 7 slots. So it's not like it's like slipped all the way out of the first round or anything yet.
Right.
And the biggest difference between where he was drafted and where he was on my board is Dalen Swain. I had him 28th, but still a first rounder. Just went,
but he just went, 13 spots before you thought he was going to.
Yep. Morez Johnson went 6 spots higher than I thought too. So, or at least
there was so much talk about him moving up though as we were getting closer and closer. He's almost like you knew he was probably going to come in a bit higher than where he was projected. It still was a surprise there at 9, but that's the way the momentum had really been going there.
Yeah, absolutely, without a doubt. While we are in a commercial, we're waiting on news on the Pistons. Everybody, please subscribe and turn on the notifications to the channels, as well as please hit that like button for us.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, that's a good question. Whose notifications other than Shams should I turn on for NBA free agency on X? Mark Stein's always a good one. Chris Haynes, Jake Fisher, Michael Scotto. Scotto gets a lot of stuff. He doesn't always get like the mega big moves, but like that next tier down, he dude just works so hard. So yeah, that's about it. I use and it's public. I have an NBA news and rumors list on my X account that you can pick up and subscribe to. I mean, it just puts it in a list, and that's all the trustworthy news breakers that I like believe in there.
It's Mark Stein, Chris Haynes, right?
Yeah.
These are all guys. And then I'm sure depending on what team you're a fan of, there's a number of other reporters in your local market.
Yeah, your beat writers.
Beat writers and stuff that will sometimes get some stuff, sometimes even a little bit before. You'll hear some little details that some of the national guys may not get. So exactly. And again, depending on what team you're a fan of, that'll determine who you're talking about there. But I would recommend follow, if you're a fan of X team, follow the beat reporters for that team, but then also get those big national accounts.
Somebody in the chat said Keith Smith. Absolutely not. You do not need notifications on for me.
Right.
Unless you want like real minutia stuff broken to you, it's going to be, and you're going to get a lot of reaction versus breaking news. And we've talked about this before. It's just not the life either of us wants to live.
Yeah.
On your phone all the time. All right, we're getting nothing here out of this Pistons picking for the Grizzlies spot.
Yeah, there's no leaks here, nothing on. So we'll see.
My pager goes off when Keith
Back in the day, you guys broke Jake to the Lakers. That was accidental. And we didn't even really break that. That was a joke that wound up happening. Kareem Lopez off the board. Jordy Descato going to the Grizz.
For the Grizzlies. Yeah, this is an upside pick. Like, assuming they're keeping it. But yeah, this is where if you're Memphis, traded back, you picked up a bunch of extra assets, why not go for the upside play? And if Lopez pans out, great.
Do you buy the shot with Lopez?
No, not yet. I think it can get there. I'm just not there yet.
I mean, another big, strong player that can get in there, I think, and work with this Memphis team. Yeah, he's a 33% 3-point shooter in the NBL last year.
Yeah,
but
needs a lot of work.
Yeah, needs work there, but not bad. If you're the Grizzlies, could he have been the guy they were looking at 16 anyway?
Yeah, certainly. That's definitely within the range of where he could have gone. So yeah, if you were looking at him at 16, you get him at 21, and you're like,
that's great.
And we got 5 extra seconds. Yeah, let's go. Like,
I mean, you'll take that all day, right? Yeah, get exactly. 5 extra second round picks.
Yeah. I think I really like this pick for the Grizzlies, just because I think this is a place where you could go for some more upside with this, and Lopez can do a lot of different stuff, so I like that one.
All right. Jake Fisher had heard Kareem Lopez had a potential home with Memphis at 16. The Grizzlies are not moving down again. Sources say they're keeping Lopez at 21. So in other words, the Grizzlies got their guy at a cheaper price and got 5 second round picks.
That is good work.
That is phenomenal work.
Yeah. All right, 22.
And we got Philly coming up here.
Could be a big here, maybe.
Could be. Yeah, I mean, Joel Embiid, as good as he is, I mean, I think at this point they'd be thrilled if he played half the season, right? Like, he's just not available most of the time. So maybe going to the big. I don't know what what are they thinking about Kelly Oubre? What are they thinking about Quentin Grimes? That could matter as well. Maybe this is where Phylon goes.
Yeah, because they did trade Jared McCain. You need some backup guards. I know Maxey and Edgecombe play approximately 47 and a half minutes a game apiece, but somebody needs to go out there for 30 seconds while they grab a drink of water. He said facetiously.
Those guys did play a lot of minutes. Please tell us who's going to the Lakers. There's a bunch of good players on the board. I will guess it winds up being Terrace Reed. That's my guess.
I think that's a good one. I think Cam Carr, if he's still there.
If he's still there, yep.
Pretty good pickup.
I would like that. Cameron Carr. Would you rather have Carr? I'm assuming you had Carr ranked above everybody else. Would you rather have Carr or Phylon right now? I think those are the two that are ranked the highest.
Just completely
in a vacuum.
In a vacuum. Carr. Yeah. Cam Carr.
I agree.
Just do more things. More projectable player as well.
Mm-hmm. Or just trade the pick. Yeah, I mean, it depends on what's available. Yeah, they could. I mean, Memphis traded their pick one selection before they got to it, right? Or right when they got to that pick, they traded it. Who knows? I said that if they could get a top 8 rotation player, they should very strongly consider trading the pick. If not, it's valuable to give it a shot and see if you can hit on one of these picks, because you have them on cost control contracts for years to come, which is very, very valuable in today's NBA. We'll see. It depends on what's available to them if they're going to trade the pick.
That was just Stein retweeting Jake.
Okay. So now we're waiting on Philly at 22.
This could really be anything because they need a lot of stuff.
Yeah, they really could go a number of directions here. How are the Lakers behind the champs in the draft order? Because the draft order is set based on your regular season standings and record. And they actually lost a tiebreaker to the Knicks. And they lost a coin flip. And so that's why they're at 25 and not 24.
What is it when people take screenshots of us on this show? They're like the least flattering screenshots ever.
What are you talking about?
Somebody on Blue Sky it was a very nice post. He was like, "Thank you guys for doing the show live, doing the draft live tonight." But the screenshot he took was like, I don't know. It looks like I'm looking at a sandwich or something.
Looking at a sandwich?
I don't know. I couldn't. I'm rapidly entering in a loopy phase here.
The exhaustion is kicking in here.
It's starting to hit a little bit. It's been a long day, but not a bad day, just a long day. It's actually been a really good day.
I just, for unknown reasons, lost audio on my there we go. Okay, I got it back.
My picks for the rest of day one, I don't like. See, it's now we're very much in the range of like who wants, like what do you value as a team? Isaiah Evans could make a lot of sense here.
Okay, here we go. Tony Jones says the Sixers pick appears to be LeBaron Phylon.
Okay, all right. So they get a guard.
Yep,
it's the McCain replacement, effectively.
Yeah.
All right, I like that pick. That's just good, solid pick for Philly.
So we had heard Atlanta trying to move this pick at 23.
Yep.
And we'll see what they do. They may be in a spot where they just couldn't get the right value they wanted for it, and they wind up keeping it. But Phylon goes off the board at 21, or he's going to be. There's Tony Jones. His tweet. Sixers pick appears to be Phylon. We have had some rare instances in the past where somebody says a guy's being and then ends up being incorrect, but that's pretty rare.
Yeah, Tony's pretty spot on. He's the beat writer for the Sixers for The Athletic now.
Right.
So, yeah, my guess is he's got good intel there.
So
I only really worry about those when it's like, this doesn't make any sense. Then I'm like, what's happening here? But this makes sense. Somebody had asked a while ago in the chat, like, what is a like rookie in the 20s making now? So for Phylon, his scale amount's $3.6 million for year one. So just to give everybody a sense of answering that question.
All right. So there's pick number 22. Now we have 23.
If Atlanta keeps this, you probably go size here, right? They went with Flemings.
They could go with Terrace Reed. They could go with Vassar. They could go with Cenac.
Chris Cenac, yeah. Yeah, Cenac, I think, could make some sense here. Vassar would give you a little bit of, well, Okongwu does shoot threes now, so could be a little different there. Yeah, let's see. Carr sliding, yeah, he's a little bit of a man without a position. He's not like super big wing. Not really a great ball
he's like
handler.
5-ish.
Yeah, so it's a little tough for those guys sometimes, unless they're like killer shooters and defenders. And he will probably shoot eventually, but he's more of an athlete right now. So had a weird season too. Baylor's had some weird seasons for guys. Like Edgecombe's season was weird at Baylor too.
Yeah. And Carr a little bit undersized in terms of weight.
Yeah.
So that's a little tough. He's got a good wingspan, so that helps out. But again, he's certainly the guy that's falling the most right now in this draft.
Let's see. We can do this one. Just got off work. Didn't miss any major trades. No, nothing
Memphis
major, but Memphis like moved back a couple times.
Memphis moved back 5 spots, got 5 second-round picks. But no, it's not like Jaylen Brown got traded or something like that happened in this draft so far.
No trade, no big-time trades that you didn't already know about if you knew about them last night or this morning.
Yep. All right.
All right, Hawks on the board. Nothing out there yet. Just another trade opportunity, right? Second round pick.
Right.
Or second first round pick.
Sheesh. For Atlanta. And again, Atlanta, we've been hearing for weeks that Atlanta wants to move this pick, that they didn't want to first.
Yep.
So we'll see if there is something happening here with this pick. Watch Rob select a combo guard. I mean, Carr is a little bit undersized to be if he winds up falling to 25. But
he doesn't really handle the ball.
Though. No, he doesn't handle the ball much or anything like that.
What was this one? Said Cheesehead says, as a Bucks fan, I liked our draft. Yeah, I think they did well. Braden Burries and Nate Ament. That's really good. I think those are 2 guys you can throw in with Ware and Hawkes and Yakushonis and start to build it up a little bit. Like I think this was a really good night for the Bucks.
Somebody said Bontemps to Atlanta, another team that won't trade with the Lakers.
Yeah, did you hear about that?
I did. Oh, Keith.
What do we got?
Scotto. Idzubi.
Oh, that's an interesting pick. It's a little high.
That's what I thought. I just love
but-
Zubi Ejiofor, but that's
Yeah.
hype to pick him.
Yeah, it's
a little bit of a weird fit too.
yeah, another forward.
Right.
Goodness. How many forwards you need?
I mean, talk about a high motor player though. Like
Oh, yeah,
that's what
big
you're
time,
getting
yeah.
here.
Yeah, I like Zubi Ejiofor. I just liked him a lot more like early in the second round.
Agreed.
But I mean, all right, let's see. I mean, and we got to factor into Atlanta may not be keeping all those other forwards.
True.
With Kuminga and Risache and now Aaron Wiggins coming in. They now you had Ejiofor with a first round pick. So yeah, let's see. I'm not gonna be surprised if this ultimately is traded.
Do you think this pick could be on the move?
Yeah, it might be.
Okay.
It just doesn't make a ton of sense.
It doesn't. It's a little weird.
Yeah.
I like Visar would have made a lot more sense here.
Yeah, Visar, Cenac.
Yeah.
Even Terrace Reed.
Sure.
A little early, but
Going with
we're
a
in
guy who's
range.
certainly more 4 than 5.
Yeah.
At least right now. As far as the Bontemps thing go, that's interesting. I mean, the Hoop Collective could get broken up there.
Yeah. Yep. I'll be very curious to see who they bring in here, like to replace him on Hoop Collective.
Mm-hmm. Is that like done? That's definitely happening.
It seems like it. I don't know. I guess
If
I
that
think
kind of
they
stuff comes
termed it
out
as they
now.
were negotiating, but I mean, I don't know how much negotiating you need to do if your goal is to work for a team. Like,
Yeah. What do you think? What about Joshua Jefferson?
I like Joshua Jefferson a lot. I like do everything bigs. He can really pass. He can really move the ball. A lot of things he can do there. So yeah, I really, really big fan of Joshua.
Yeah,
Jefferson.
me too. Somebody asked what happened to Timph. Why did he leave Lakers Collective, or was it a break? He announced that earlier today. He put out a little 3-minute video explaining it. He's been dealing with some health stuff, and so that's why he hasn't been on the show for the last week and a half or so. We wanted to let Jason tell his own story about what was going on and everything. So he's going to be okay, but stuff with your heart you don't want to mess around with. I think he was doing too much. And so he's stepping away from anything that's not Hoops Tonight right now, because of the health stuff that he had going on. So, we're sad, but he's got to put his health first and make sure that he prioritizes those things. So that's why that decision ultimately was made.
Yeah, I also too. I'm not obviously I didn't know anything until he put that announcement out. But I will add, I think people have sometimes this assumption of it's just a podcast. You just show up and talk, and that's not true. A lot goes into, if you want to do it the right way, you have to do a lot of prep work. There's things you got to do on the side. It's not just sit down in front of a mic and talk. That's more if we do radio spots or if we guest on somebody's podcast. But even then, you got to prep for it. Otherwise, you'll do it once and they'll be like, I don't want to have that idiot back on again. And I know he's a very hard worker who's very committed. So all the best to him and his health stuff with that.
Yeah. And I think he's, again, I don't mean to sound the alarm or anything. He's going to be okay, but his body was telling him he was doing too much is part of what was going on there. So
Summer League starts in 10 days. No, you're a little off on that. The 12th, right? No, 9th. The 9th is the Vegas Summer League is the 9th.
Vegas Summer League starts
the other ones
on
are
July
a
9th.
couple days earlier.
Yes.
But yeah. Yeah, a little bit early.
Rob Palinka Masterclass. How cooked are we? Let's see what happens. I don't know. Let's see what happens.
Jake says Atlanta's going to keep Ejiofor.
Okay. So no trade there. All right. The Knicks now on the clock. The Hawks told rival teams they were going to listen to trade offers when they were on the clock.
The Lakers trading up.
Oh,
Per
where's
Shams.
that coming from?
Shams just tweeted it.
New York is trading 24 to the Los Angeles Lakers for 25.
It's very nice.
They traded up one spot.
For
What did they give
nothing
up
else,
to do
just out of the goodness of their hearts.
Just for funsies. Just to undo the coin flip. Obviously, the Lakers have somebody they really wanted here to move up one spot.
Yeah.
I know it's only one spot, but forgive me. There we go. So the Lakers traded up one spot. I don't know what they gave up just yet. But obviously there was someone that they want here that they didn't want the Knicks taking. So the Lakers move up one spot. The Knicks would get their guy a little bit cheaper, but I'm sure there's something going. Maybe it's just cash. I don't know.
Yeah,
something.
I mean, you don't generally do things just out of the kindness.
You do not.
Your own heart like that.
No.
That does occasionally happen in like what is it, Major League Baseball, when they used to have like 70 rounds of drafts.
Yeah. All right. So Lakers on the clock. And we'll see who they ultimately take. And once that pick does come in, I'll jump out.
Bow out.
Yeah. I wonder if this is Cameron Carr.
Could be.
Would you like that fit if that's who this is?
Yeah, potential 3-and-D guy. Sure.
Yeah.
I think that's and this is great value, towards the end of the first round here. 100% in on that.
I wonder what they gave up in order to do it. All right, here we go.
Probably Luka.
Yeah, to move up one. Why not?
I'm joking. Nothing else. That was just it.
Well, but when we were talking, the Shams only had part of the trade when the Grizzlies were trading back the first time too.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yep.
Oh, that's now the ESPN alert.
Yeah, that comes through too.
Yeah. We needed those because Twitter broke the other day.
That's right. That did happen for a little bit. When the Giannis trade stuff was really picking up, it started to break. I'm like, oh my God, seriously. Timing.
And nothing on what the rest of the trade was yet that I'm seeing, or what the pick is.
Surprised nobody has it here. Dave McMenamin just tweeted, hearing Cameron Carr for the Knicks, who will go to the Lakers.
Okay.
It is Cameron Carr.
I like it.
That was the biggest faller at this point.
I like that for the Lakers. That's a really good pick. And he should fit in and probably play almost right away. And I guess it was not that much that they would have had to give up either.
So Cameron Carr, you're getting a 6'5" with a 7'1" wingspan, 8 foot 8 inch standing reach. I mean, 37% from three, 19 points per game. Needs to get a little bit stronger, but Cameron Carr fell in the draft. Now, why did he fall? That's the question a lot of Lakers fans will want to know.
I want to know what the rest of the trade is.
Yeah, where is the rest of it? There it is, the Lakers. Cameron Carr's dad competed in the 97 dunk contest against Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
Scotto said Carr is being traded to the Lakers, but doesn't say for what.
Fisher too. Knicks are trading 24 to the Lakers for 25. Lakers selecting Cameron Carr. Be wild if the Knicks are just like, I want to save a little bit.
Just like, we'll save a little bit of money. We'll pretend the coin flip went your way.
I mean,
because that was what decided this pick, was a coin flip.
Yeah. Nothing says you can't do that.
They're calling him a lob threat as well. Guy.
Yeah, super athletic.
Oh, it's Cash. They traded Cash to move up and get Cameron Carr.
All right, so not that it's going to matter. Probably not. Lakers will be hard capped at the second apron.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably not going to be anywhere near the second apron, but just in case. They said if they stayed over the cap and like started signing everybody to big money, then could be a thing. But yeah, use cash and trade to get hard capped at the second apron.
There it is. So the Lakers move up to get Cameron Carr, a guy who was mocked much higher on a number of boards. So he was the faller. This is they moved up to, they took the faller in Dalton Connect, and that didn't work out. So you never know. But this is the Lakers using cash in order to move up and grab the guy that they clearly wanted. And this is a guy who's going to play a bit, maybe able to play right away for them in Cameron Carr.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be kind of him in a Duke row. We'll be battling it out now to see who can maybe snag some wing minutes. It's obviously the Lakers are. There's a whole lot more to come with their offseason, but yeah,
right.
I don't mind. I don't mind this pick at all for the Lakers. I think it's a pretty good pick.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. I'm going to bounce out and get something up for the Lakers Nation channel. And Keith is going to stick around for the rest of the first round here, which obviously we've got a few picks left, Keith, including your Celtics. We'll see what they do.
Yeah. We'll see what happens with them at 27.
You're going to have to take control of this screen share here on this, because it's going to take it off when I leave.
Oh, okay. I'm probably just going to leave it on me, just because I'm trying to do enough other things. So,
okay.
All right,
everybody. I'm going to head over to Lakers Nation and get something
done
up
quick
there.
And pop back in before we're done.
I will do my best.
Did not mean to show that. Sorry.
All right.
Get off the screen. There we go. All right, man.
All right. We'll see you, everybody.
See ya. All right, guys. We got now it's the Lakers on the board picking for the Knicks. So the Knicks save a little bit of money, which every little bit helps for them right now, because they are so close to that second apron with this stuff. So I think this Lakers pick was good. I know some people are, don't seem super happy about it, but Cam Carr was much higher on my board than where he ultimately was selected. I had him 14th on my board, and he ultimately goes at 24th. So 10 picks later than where I had him on my personal board. So yeah, I think this is a good pickup here. Or waiting on this, we'll do some more super chats here. Some of these super chats are not very nice. We'll do this one. This obviously is out the window now, but Jaylen Brown to Atlanta for Buddy Hield. Dyson Daniels Kuminga, number 8 and 2 future first. Number 8's not happening, so that's not a thing there. Let's see. Nate Ament ultimately thought he was going to go to the Bucks. Went to the Bucks, just went there a little bit later. And Shams confirming cash considerations to the Lakers. So it's a good thing here. Hype verse channel. I don't know what that means. Love watching you guys. So promote hype. We don't. Sorry, I shouldn't even have shown that. The Deep. Thanks for your support. We got AJD. Super excited for us DC Wiz fans. Good luck. LA Nation trade up to get someone good. Look at that. Truth teller. Or fortune teller. That's not very nice, but sure, I guess. Oh, here it is. I got to it, Joe Cool. But yeah, we're plowing through some of these. So yeah, so we'll pull this one from Miguel. I don't know that this is like gonna be. I don't know that Carr and Thoreau both play. They kind of overlap quite a bit. So we'll see. Maybe they do. Let's see here. Would I trade Hauser and Garza for Miles Turner? Probably not. I'm not a big Miles Turner fan. Anybody who's read my stuff for a long time or followed long enough knows I'm not a very big Miles Turner fan at all. All right, we're still waiting on who the Lakers are picking for the next pick is in, but I'm not seeing it anywhere yet. So hope you guys have enjoyed hanging out with us here tonight. We have a lot of fun doing this. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and get subscribed, and then hit that like button as well for us. That helps us out quite a bit with this stuff. Keith is not like Miles Turner and Dennis Schroeder. This is absolutely true. I'm not a super big fan of either. Next must be keeping things close to the vest here. Nobody's broken this pick yet. Here it is. Sergio De La Rey. The Lakers are picking. Will move to the Knicks. Keep an eye on this potentially being a draft and stash. As much as I think De La Rey would like to come over right away, the Knicks wouldn't mind him staying overseas for another year and then keeping that money off the books if they can kind of get him to agree to that. What happens in that situation is they undergo a process where they notify the league that they will not sign during this league year, and then that actually allows them to take that money completely off their books. And then it just the player remains as a draft rights player, and then if he signs next year, he signs under next year's rookie scale. So that could be a thing here. I'm not necessarily gonna expect that, but could be. Let's keep an eye on that one. Get back to showing the ticker here. All right. Did Knicks trade down for a stash? Yeah, maybe. So again, saving money for the Knicks. This is where they really want to be with this. De La Rey has got really good size for a kind of a combo guard here. So yeah, I think this is a really good thing. Where is Trevor? Trevor is recording a video on the Lakers trade and the Cam Carr pickup. So that's where he is right now. Who is De La Rey? Yeah, he's a young kid out of Spain who's going to be really good. I think he will be a really good player. He's got really good size. Some call him a guard. Some call it still think of him as more of a small forward. I think he's probably more of like a wing with good size, I guess is the way I would put that. So yeah, I think he's going to be pretty good. So I guess there was something wrong on the ticker. Fixing that, getting it all cleaned up. Nuggets on the board now at 26. here. So we'll see where they go. Nuggets can use all kinds of stuff, depth and front court. I wouldn't be surprised if this maybe Henry Visar could be the pick here for Denver. Jonas Valanciunas is probably on his way out. I don't know if anybody saw. The reporting is he's going to join team in Lithuania, Zalgiris, which is like one of the power clubs in Lithuania, and a EuroLeague team as well. So it sounds like that's where he's going to go after he is either waived or traded, then waived. But we did this dance a year ago where they were trying to get him to a team in Greece, and then the Nuggets decided to keep him. So we'll see. Trevor is recording a video. I don't think he's live right now. I think he's recording a video to get up. How do I feel about the Nets using 5 first-round picks last year? If even if a few of them are good, you have to pay each of them. Yeah, I don't love it. I didn't like it last year. I thought they would trade those picks, but yeah, I did not love them using all of those first rounders last year. And you're absolutely right. Even if they all end up good, you're not gonna be able to pay everybody anyway. It's just gonna be too much. D-Rock Keith, I can't lie. I wanted Acuff. Did Marks fail? I don't know that he failed. I think they still did okay. With getting Mikel Brown Jr. I think in a world where they are still into their other guards, into Nolan Traore and Ben Saraf, I think then Mikel Brown Jr. fits better with them. I like Acuff more as a player, but I think they did okay. Not going to stress over it too much. Let's see here. Let's see if we're getting any news on this Nuggets pick yet. Yeah, so Bobby Marks mentions the idea of Sergio De La Rey being stashed. Jake Fisher mentioned the idea of him being stashed. So, yeah, I think it's I think that's going to be what happens here, and the Knicks will be able to save some money. Brad, I don't know what that means when you just put a comma in the chat. Explain that to me. Who do I want the Celtics to pick? Yeah, I promise I'm not being obtuse here. I haven't given it a whole lot of thought. Let me relook at my board. Give me a second. Probably Visar would be a pretty good pick for them. Gets some a little bit more size. Isaiah Evans, another wing who can shoot. I mean, you can never have enough of those guys. Koa Pete would be interesting. As like kind of a rugged defensive forward. Chris Cenac could be a nice project big. Little overlappy with Neemias Queta there, but not sure. Joshua Jefferson, Terrace Reed. It's really kind of the bigs that I'd be a little bit more focused on for the Celtics. Same for the Nuggets, though. So we could see a couple bigs in a row come off the board here. Let's see. Somebody said I'm looking handsome today. I'll take it. Somebody said earlier that Trevor and I are in our mid to late 30s. And that's I wish. Denver is trading. This is per Jake Fisher. Denver is trading the number 26 pick to the San Antonio Spurs. Okay. So Denver's going to get off of the pick, which keeps the money off of the books for them. And San Antonio is picking up Terrace Reed. So San Antonio, after picking Jaden Quaintance earlier, now they're going to pick up Terrace Reed. So Terrace Reed will step right in as a ready to play big. And then Quaintance can be given time to take his time to go. Number 35 is going to Denver, as well as 2 other future second round picks. So the Nuggets trade 26 for 3 second round picks with that. So, and this is just Denver getting off of guaranteed money and not wanting to put more money on the books for a player who was honestly going to be a depth guy with this. So that's kind of an interesting move there, and good move for the Spurs. I love Terrace Reed Jr. for them. He's going to fit in perfectly there with him. I think he's going to be fantastic. And then I think that's a good pickup, and now that allows Quaintance to take his time getting back. Oops. Jeez. Would I be opposed with the Lakers trading for Jaylen Brown? No, because I think the only way that would happen is if Luka Doncic was going to the Celtics, because there's nothing else the Lakers have really that I think would interest the Celtics very much. Okay, so let's update the ticker. So again, recapping, Nuggets trade out of the pick to the Spurs for 3 second-round picks. What's happening here? There we go. Spurs. Yeah. Sorry, I know it's not great podcasting, radio, whatever we want to call it when I go silent like that, but I'm trying to work through. Best available at this point, probably, let's see, let me look at my list. My best available would be Chris Cenac, Koa Pete, Isaiah Evans, Henry Visar, Joshua Jefferson. Those are, so far, I haven't had anybody other than Zuby Ejiofor that I had a second round grade on move into the first, and Ejiofor was like right on the borderline of being a potential late first round pick for me. So that wasn't like any kind of insane reach. So Koa Pete, Isaiah Evans, Henry Visar, Joshua Jefferson. Those are my best available guys. And the Celtics are on the board. Details on that trade from Jake Fisher. It's the 35 pick in tomorrow's second round, 2031 Kings second, and a 2028 Timberwolves second. That's what's going to Denver in that trade, where the Spurs moved up to get Terrace Reed. All right, let's see. Who would the Celtics trade Brown for now? There's a lot of guys, I think, out there that didn't have to be draft centric, because I think the Celtics, they're in win now mode. They're not necessarily trying to build up. Do they ever mention how much cash is in cash considerations? Yeah, it usually comes out after the fact. You follow the beat writers for that. Somebody will dig that detail out. Since the Lakers were involved, Eric Pincus will definitely be the one who will get that detail on that. He's always all over cash and trades. Yes, the Lakers are hard capped at the second apron because they sent out cash in a trade. If you send out cash in a trade, you get hard capped at the second apron, even though we're not in the new league year yet. Anything happening now impacts the new league year. This would only come into play if they were like going to do big stuff with like LeBron, a monster contract, and Austin Reeves, a monster contract, and then do a whole bunch of other players as well. With this, the pick is in from the Celtics. Looks like maybe Chris Cenac. That's who's being shown on TV. Chris Cenac would be a good pickup, front court reinforcement for the Celtics. If this is the direction it goes, we'll see. Now they're showing Isaiah Evans. Chris Cenac to the Celtics. Chris Cenac to the Boston Celtics at number 27. Good upside pick here. I had him a little bit higher on my board, more in the middle of the first round. So I obviously think this is a good pick if Boston ends up keeping him on the roster. They needed to add more size and athleticism in the front court, and I think that's what he'll do. Starting to see a little bit more, too, about the idea that Sergio De La Rey will definitely be a draft and stash. So that is answers that question for what the Knicks' motivations were there. So I like that Cenac pick for Boston. I think, again, they're looking at more size in their front court, more athleticism in their front court. Neemias Queta is a really good player, but their other bigs, Nikola Vucevic, not going to be back. And then they also had Luka Garza played really well for Boston, will be a big part of things, but not the most athletic guy. Not really making a lot of plays around the rim. So I think Chris Cenac is a really good pickup for them. I am very happy for this one. Pacome Dadier came over right away. They haven't necessarily done a lot of that stuff. Oops, sheesh. Yeah, it does. Yeah, there's a little bit of Kalel wear. Yeah, Trevor is recording a video for Lakers Nation right now on the Cam Carr stuff. Hard capped at the second apron just means you can't go over the second apron amount by even $1. So that's where what that means. Sorry, guys, just doing a little moderating work here as well. We're getting down to it here. We got 3 picks left. This is Minnesota picking for Brooklyn right now. So I think that is we'll see if they want to add another player here. Where was it? Oh, here it was. Why would a player agree to draft and stash? Will Knicks pay him to hold off a year? No, what will happen is he'll play somewhere in Europe, probably in Spain, where he was before. He stays over there for a year, still gets a year pay, and then he can come to the NBA a year later. Sometimes guys get stashed for a couple years. It's become very rare with first-round picks in recent years, but I think it's starting to become a little bit more rare, or a little bit. We may see it become more common, is what I was trying to say. May see it become more common as we get into a spot where teams are getting tighter to the aprons and the like, which is what the Knicks did this for. How does the second apron hard cap work with cap space? It's not a worry. For example, the Brooklyn Nets were hard capped last year when they had like $50 million in cap space. You can't really use cap space and then go over the second apron. That's just not really a thing that can happen here. Let's see. Boston was another trade. This was per Jake Fisher. Boston was another trade team we were monitoring. Had heard Chris Cenac Jr., in addition to Nate Ament, was a target for New Orleans to trade into the first round. But the Houston big man is staying with the Celtics. I wouldn't assume that means picking Cam Carr means that Luke Kennard is gone. I think there's a chance Kennard stays. They're just very different players that do very, very different things. And Carr's going to need a little bit of time. Oops. Sorry. Okay. Please wear caps and aprons for the free agent special again. Yeah, we'll see. You got to be careful of running back the bit too many times. But it was a lot of fun. That popped up on my YouTube feed randomly the other day. That was a lot of fun. For anybody who doesn't know what Karl Marx LA is talking about here is a couple years ago at the start of free agency, when everything was about the aprons, I put 2 aprons on, and then I put a bicycle helmet as a hard cap on my head. And then Trevor didn't know it was coming, so I surprised him when we started the show that I was off camera, and then turned on my camera with all that foolishness on. It was a lot of fun. All right, Minnesota pick is in. So we'll see where this goes. Again, Wolves picking for the Nets here as part of that trade. I don't think Trevor is going live. I think he's just recording a video with that. Did I create Spot? Whoops. Here it is. Did I create Spot Track? I did not. No, Spot Track existed long before I joined them. I joined them, gosh, a while ago now. It's been like a perfect fit for me. Everything I want to write about and talk about and do and help maintain and all that. It's been great. And I love it. We've got all kinds of cool tools that we've built. We've got a free agent predict tool where you can go in and predict where guys land on in free agency. We obviously have, in my opinion, the best trade machine in the business, which we keep up to date as soon as things happen, as well as our salary and roster sheets are the best publicly available that you can find, and the quickest updated. Nothing coming out yet on this pick. This Minnesota Nets. The last couple times that's happened, that's because there's turned into being turned into being a trade. So let's see if something else is going to happen here. Oh, just coming out on the TV. Joshua Jefferson. So I like this pick, especially if this is going to stay with the Nets. Jefferson is very ready to go right now. He is somebody who can be plugged right into the rotation for the Nets and play alongside, really backing up Julius Randle. He's not as athletic as Julius Randle is, but he's a kind of do everything power forward type player with the ball in his hands. So I do like this pick quite a bit for the Nets, assuming the Nets end up keeping it. Well, we'll see. Maybe this pick was made for somebody else. It was already Timberwolves picking for the Nets, but yes, no. All right, guys, feedback time. What did you guys think of the ticker this year? Did you guys like that? Having that running across the bottom, trying to keep that updated. Let me know what you think with that. With that. So yeah, we're trying to go trying to make things a little bit better, a little easier to follow for people. So let's see if there's any news on this pick that the Nets get Joshua Jefferson. Nothing said if he's coming or going. So it looks like he's probably staying around. Good. Glad you guys liked the ticker. We were messing around with some different ideas here, and we thought this would work to kind of keep everybody up to date. It's helped me a couple times too, without having to click off screens and stuff. All right, we're down to the final 2 picks of the first round. Cleveland Cavaliers on the board right now, then followed by the Dallas Mavericks. Mavericks second first round pick at number 30. Yes, we are streaming to both front office show as well as the basketball bulletin. Trevor had to step away to record on the trade by the Lakers to trade up to select Cameron Carr. So you will see that video will come up at some point here with that. So, but yeah, he may pop back in if he's back in before we're done. But that's where we went. Again, if you guys have been hanging out with us and you're not subscribed to Front Office Show, please subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications. Anytime major breaking news goes down, major breaking news like Giannis did last night, we get into a spot where we try to get live as soon as we can, and then we get a show out for you guys and break everything down live. As we're learning about last night, was a lot of fun because we also had the 3-team trade. We also had a Ayo Dosunmu re-signing, so we had a whole bunch of stuff going on there with this. Let's see. Looks like we got some news here. The Sacramento Kings are picking up the Cavs pick at number 29. Again, this is another example. Cavs dealing with second apron issues. So the Cavs moving off some money that would have come with the first round pick, much like the Knicks did, getting off of that salary. They're not even going to have it on the books. So moving out there. There was not a draft and stash type of player that would have been worth picking in the first round after De La Rey went. So we're in a spot now where it is Cleveland. Cleveland is trading 20 to this is per Shams. Trading 29 to the Kings for number 34 in a future second. Then he adds the Kings are interested in UConn's Alex Cariban. Not a surprise. Alex Cariban right on the borderline of being a first-round pick. Really kind of a good shooting forward. Sacramento does not have a lot of shooting on the roster, so it makes sense that they would make a move like this. So this was going to be the Kings picking Alex Cariban after trading for the pick from the Cavs. All right, ticker is updated. So, that is an interesting little trade for the Kings there. Didn't have to give up too much. Did now, if you are the Cavaliers, you get off a whole lot of money. You're out of having to have about $3 million on your books. If they roster the number 34 pick, it's about $1.5 million, just shy of that. So that gives them a guy who's going to make about half what it would have been. And again, when you're a second apron team, every little bit counts here for these second apron teams. So the Cavs, the Knicks, both making moves to move out of draft picks to be able to get into a place where they can better manage their apron concerns. Purely salary savings for the Cavs. Yeah, seems to be like they're still really tight to that apron even after Harden lowers his number. And I think they would very much like to re-sign Dean Wade. And you don't want to lose Dean Wade because you're trying to avoid being a second apron team for another year. They were a second apron team last year, so that starts some of the the penalties coming in, like the frozen pick, but you've got time to get out of that. So you want to be in a position where you can get out of that there. So, and then Jake Fisher says the Suns are trading in a number 30. So the Suns, who did not have a first round pick, are going to trade in and get a first round pick. Dallas had 2. So Dallas now moving out of 30. We'll see what the Suns come up here. You can buy second round picks with cash. It's less common than it used to be, because that does trigger a second round hard cap. So we'll see with this, with that one. So let's see. There was another question that was here. I wanted to ask or pull up. Now I can't find it. Yeah, Lakers could purchase a second round pick. They've done it in the past. That's definitely, the Lakers have never shied away from using cash in trades. It's actually moved up in the second round several times by using cash there. Yeah, I like the Cam Carr pick as well. So I think that is a good pickup for the Lakers. I think that worked out pretty good. These being hard capped at the second apron, does that not mean can spend in free agency with their cap space? No, not at all. It's second apron is like miles away from the cap. So they can definitely, if they get the cap space right. So you can't really have cap space and then go over the second apron too with that. So like they're definitely plenty of room there. Let's see. We're on our last one. And look at our guy's back.
Hey, what's going on?
Oh no, we're on the wrong sides.
I just went and recorded a breakdown on Cameron Carr, and the system is not letting me download it. So
no.
I can't post it right now. It's stuck in the system. So I'm probably just going to go live here in a minute over on the Lakers Nation side to break the whole thing down.
Per Jake Fisher, Cole Pete is going to be the pick at 30. So that closes out the first round of the draft. We'll do one more update of the ticker here as we kind of close things out.
There it is. Sorry.
Oh, it's not working.
Yeah, it just now downloaded. Maybe I'll just go live anyway, and we'll talk through everything.
Okay. All right. So there it is, guys. All the picks are in for the first round. Cariban and Pete were the last couple off the board. Trevor, we were talking about it a little bit through some of these trades here that I know you were recording, but the Knicks traded back with the Lakers, as you know, and then they picked Sergio De La Rey, and I had speculated maybe he stays overseas. Now it sounds like that's going to be what happens. So the Knicks will save money towards the second apron with that.
Right.
And then the Cavs trade completely out of their pick to getting into a place where they go to a spot where it turns into them with second apron savings as well.
Those aprons, they are something the teams are doing what they can to try to work around, and not easy. But when I saw the Knicks make that pick, I was like, "Yep, that makes a lot of sense. That's what they're doing, right there."
Yeah. All right, people want our best picks and best and worst fits. I mean, let's keep it out of the top 7 because those are all pretty obvious good fits. So
let's make, you know what, let's put those on tomorrow's show.
Okay, perfect.
And that way I can go get the live show started over on the Lakers side of things.
Perfect.
And that'll give me a little bit of time to really think through.
Yeah, because you got to catch up a little bit.
Right. So, I've been scrambling right now to get that out and fighting with technology and all that.
Chris, let me find your comment and then I'll start so it reminds us to do that. We're going to do a breakdown anyway. And then just people looking forward, probably not going to do a full big live show during the second round. Second round is just so chaotic. It becomes
something crazy goes down. Then of course we'll talk about it.
Absolutely. We'll figure it out. But Thursday, and this will be a recorded show, will not be a live show. I don't think. because it's going to be probably pretty long. We will have Bryce Simon coming on, like Bryce and I have done for the last few years. We'll do the full draft recap, all 30 teams, all 60 picks. Plus, if you guys have followed this for a while, you know what happens towards the end of that second round. You start getting two ways and training camp players and all kinds of stuff comes out. So we will talk through all of that as best we can on Thursday. We're probably going to record that late Thursday morning, early afternoon. But you'll have it that way. It'll be up for your weekends and everything as you head into the weekend.
Yes, indeed. All right, everybody. I'm going to get live over on Lakers Nation in just a few moments. We'll talk about the Cameron Carr pick. We'll talk about what comes next over there. So if that's what you're looking for, that'll get going shortly. But thank you, everybody, for joining us. Keith, this has become an annual thing.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
This was an absolute blast.
Yeah,
this was an absolute blast. As always, we appreciate everybody being here.
Subscribe, hit the like. Please, there's a lot of people still hanging out here with us, and let us know in the comments if you've been, not the comments on the live, the comments on the show. Let us know if you hung in here with us for the entire time, because it's always nice to know. But yeah, thanks so much, everybody, for all the support, everything you guys do to allow us to do this. It's you have no idea how much we appreciate it. Koa Pete is going to the Suns. Mavericks picked him for the Suns. So, all right, there it is. Thanks so much, everybody. It was absolutely a great night.
Thanks again. See ya and stay safe.